engagement, which hurts our algorithm.
So let's not do it for
So
YouTube.
I'll
Let's
probably
do, it for
do
every
a
other
TikTok
platform.
only, or maybe just
I will not
abstract.
go on- I will
Why
not
don't we
go on
do?
to-
Okay, I will bring the news
How
back to
about we-
abstract.
The-
Abstract exclusive.
Okay, but I will not go. One, I will not go on TikTok. But two, why can't we just do the other platforms then? Why not? Why can't we just do YouTube?
The problem is it hurts our algorithm. So every time I post something on YouTube that
You don't think something political isn't gonna push the
I
algorithm?
think political would, but we're talking about bringing the news show back, doing the news 5 days a week, like
I'm
I
not
used
doing
to.
5 days a week. We can do.
No, I would do it, but I'll do a shorter show. I won't do 4 hours, and I'll do it
I
5
won't do
days
it
a
if
week.
it's on TikTok.
No,
I'm
it
not
would be
gonna do
just
it.
me,
Okay, that's fine.
and because
That'll be your thing.
I can't afford to bring you in at
No,
5
I'm
days.
doing
a
a lot of work already.
week. Yeah, so we'll do the rabbit hole show.
But the thing is you
I'll
don't need to do
the
5
news.
days a week of a segment. Jesse,
I think we
less
do, 'cause
work,
that's regular
a 15-minute
news.
segment. That's what it said. Jesse, less work, a 15-minute segment.
We'll talk about it. We'll discuss it, and we'll see how we can move forward. But I do want to continue, doing
I like this
media
show a lot.
and being like a news anchor, right? That's basically what I was. But we'll scale the hours back on that, and we'll put the long hours for the rabbit hole show.
if it's TikTok, I'm not.
I'm not really going to be doing TikTok. TikTok is our promo show. We're going to be doing live battles and just building a platform there just to get new viewers to come to YouTube. That's the
Right.
only reason I'm still doing
On
it.
YouTube, I can say whatever I want
Yeah.
about whoever I want.
On abstract, we can really do whatever we want as long as it's not diddling children like Trump.
Okay. Diddy? Diddle. Diddly. That's
Diddy
what you
diddle?
said earlier, didn't you?
Diddy diddle.
Oh my gosh. That's another one. I'm gonna see if I can pardon Maxine Glenn. I can't believe that.
He acted like he totally gaslit everyone, like he had no idea who she was.
You don't remember the person that sold you children?
Yeah, that's crazy.
50 months.
All right, if you're watching, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to this channel,
Recommend
share
it
the
to
show
your
with your friends.
so that we can all have fun together. We do look at the chat, and I know we get off subject a little bit, but it makes it a lot more entertaining seeing your feedback.
And if you like this content,
Thank you, Shelley.
please. And if you like this content, please. I'm trying to do a little promo.
I'm
clip.
sorry. I can talk
Let's
too.
be professional for just one moment, just for a nice little clip. If you like this show, please hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And don't forget to hit that like button and share this show with your friends. When was the last time you called your mother or your mother-in-law and told them, hey, I saw an amazing show. You got to check it out. We'll see y'all next time.
It's nothing, you a snitch, you wanna be like me, yeah, you wish.
Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends, follow me on all platforms at Ozthecryptogoat.
I promise I'm greater. Just check my tray, check my wallet, the data. You mention me with the girls, that's gossip. And if you talk shit, you know you best watch it. Crypto wives are the best, you know you're not it. Passive aggressive, that beef, I'm gonna squash it. Not cause I forgive you, because I am bigger of a person. And yeah, my ass sticker, loyal to my man. You a hoe, you a stripper. So don't miss my word by the throw a no hitter. Now this my last line before we go get dinner. Michelin restaurants, you pay, he a winner. Said I'm a badass bitch and I'm rich. Don't call me a little girl, I ain't switch. Size like it's nothing, you a snitch. Wanna be like me, yeah, you wish. Another verse, about to take another lap. Around you putting Goat Tribe on the map. It's a race, it's a fight, yeah, we bout to scrap. But you know I'm clever, so instead lay a trap. To help me catch these little girls in the act. Creating fake drama, yeah, I know that's a fact. I don't mean to provoke, don't mean to attack. But can't take any more, boy, I gotta react. Or they take advantage of me. Try and lie, spread these rumors about me. But they can't see.
How you doing,
They
brother?
bullshit sets me
Smash that
free.
like button,
Girl, I
guys.
decree you gone, you better
Send
flee.
in a daily
Yeah, I'm a
heart
wife,
me.
you know he put a ring on it. Big ass rock sold NFTs and took the profit,
Gifts
headed
are
to the bank. Got more
appreciated,
to
but
deposit. Go
if
try to the moon,
anything,
yeah,
a
we
heart
about to
me
rock it.
is the best thing that you can do to help
Said
the
I'm a
show.
badass bitch and I'm rich. Don't call me a little girl, I ain't switch. Size like it's
Let's
nothing,
get this
you a
rolling.
snitch.
Starks, thank you for the heart me.
Wanna
Appreciate
be
you, brother.
like me, yeah, you wish.
Keep hitting that like button, guys. I'm going to share the show out. Let's see here.
What is real? How do you define real?
Let's get this show shared out
There's
to
no
everyone.
spoon.
Need some engagement, guys.
What is real? What is human?
In the
This
meantime,
world got me questioning,
while y'all are
stuck in
hitting all the
matrix, feeling like I'm
buttons and
trolling, so
everything,
upside down, disconnected
and
from the showman.
sending
But more
in the
fists is
heart
here now,
memes
you
and
ready to
whatnot.
go. The red or blue pill,
Here's
you
an
already know.
amazing
Down the rabbit hole, we going below.
Goat
Layers they can't
Tribe
see, I'm going to
music
show.
video for
You,
you guys.
what is
Goat
real, what is
Tribe.
fake, take it slow. Been doing it for years and now I'm a pro. Fiat the fake, it's a sham, it's a scam. 2.33 and a supply, goddamn. They print and they steal
Check
as
out
much
their
as they want.
NFT
But old Uncle
collection.
Sam, he just runs a front for the shadiest scheme you've ever seen.
We have been
Completely
the
worthless,
number
worse than
one
a shit
live stream
meme.
on
Coin got us
Abstract
all
for
stuck in the
days in a row,
system.
guys.
Crypto, the fix, let me
Let's
give you some wisdom.
do
Bitcoin
it
and Cardano
again.
use UTXOs.
Let's get to
XRP is a
number
lot
one
of for
on
speed, I
Abstract.
suppose. Assets that go up, not
And
down overnight, but the
TikTok as
system
well,
won't
we've been
die.
doing
Without
really
a big
well.
fight, that's why they
Let's
delay.
get
That's why
that
they keep
algorithm
stalling, but
rolling
nothing can
and,
stop
let's
destruction
get
from
to it.
falling. So let's quietly build.
And then I got some news for you guys today, and
Let's exit the
some
matrix.
theories about
It's
what's going to
about
happen in the
crack.
markets.
Looking for the exit.
So I'm sure you're all interested in what I think is going to happen in the markets. And I'm going to do some TA for you guys.
Sick of working, I ain't gon' slave away.
And we'll go through, you know, my predictions,
No more
I
lies,
guess.
no more fake shit.
I wouldn't even
Man, I
call
really
them
can't take it. I
predictions.
know what is real, so please don't mistake it for new
Awesome.
cars
Thank
and
you
new
for the
clothes
heart
with
memes.
next level flows.
Thank you
I
for the
try
heart
to
memes, guys.
compose this
Heart
life
memes
that
are
we
the
chose.
best thing
The
that you
matrix
can
is
do
everywhere, it's all
for the
around us. Even in
algorithm
this
to help
room,
me
it must
out.
surround us. You can't see it, you feel it, it's in your soul. Breaking the
Here,
matrix, they losing control.
this.
Politicians and judges, they have the role to keep you in line. Yeah, that's the goal.
The
But
heart
when you
means
wake
the
up
best
and then
thing that
wake
you
up,
can
must
send,
shake
though.
up the matrix and break up. You see the code, not Haskell or no, but the system they built is gonna explode
There.
you faster than
That's
this.
probably better for the audio.
You are ancient knowledge bestowed. Don't listen to me.
Can you hear me now? How's the audio now? That probably sounds much better. Yeah, my bad, guys. Honestly, I just came from a doctor's appointment and like rushed over here, so like I'm trying to get all the equipment going and everything. So appreciate you guys showing up and showing out, hitting the like button. We're gonna get to 100K likes today. That's the goal, is 100K likes. And I can't do it without you guys. Without you guys, I'm just a guy in a padded room talking to the wall. So please be here and engage with me so that way I'm not crazy. Revolution, thank you for the heart me's and the popular votes and the super popular votes as well. Become a super fan, guys. That's another thing you can do to help me out here. Become one of my super fans, and or become a subscriber. I offer one-on-one coaching to anyone that needs help catered to your specific needs in the market, right? Everyone's needs are a little bit different. All right. So let's find something that's good for you, right? Where the market helps you. You know, I think the algorithm's not going as good because we have we don't have the charts up here. Usually when the charts are on, we get way more engagement, right? So I get the charts up there. Thank you guys for all the gifts. Do not forget to send a heart me. Heart me is the best thing that you can do. Revolution, thank you for all the gifts. I appreciate it. I need to turn 1,000 into 100,000. Is there something you can help me with? Actually, yeah, that can be done. I've turned 100,000 into 3 mil, or excuse me, 1,000 into 3 mil. It can be done. All right. And I know you're being hyperbolic or whatever, but it can be done. But you gotta put in work. You gotta, educate yourself. But meme coins is probably gonna be your best bet for major returns like that. But I'll tell you what, 97% of the people that get into meme coins lose. Another cool one is Soul Pump. Soul Pump is a fun little game that you can play. Oski, thank you for the heart me. Appreciate you. I appreciate it. I need donuts, guys. I need 80 donuts. If you want to send a gift, send a donut. You can click, there's like a little thing like up here when you click the heart me, and it'll show you like the different gifts that I need to achieve for certain goals. Honestly, I feel like if we don't start getting engagement, you're going to force me to stop doing the news and stop reading charts and just battle people. If you don't want this show to turn into me battling all day long, then we need it. We need the engagement. We need whatever you guys can do, right? I do not want to become that. It seems like that's what everything's become, is just people battling each other, and how boring. I like to think that my show's not very boring. You know, we talk about different things and stuff. But yeah, like, golly, like, who wants to just watch people battle? Let's see here. Let's see if anybody wants to come up on the panel. Let's see. Anybody want to come talk and hang out with? What up, Starks?
How you doing, bro?
Let me fix the audio here, because I got the audio turned down for the music. So let me pause the audio here. There we go. And then turn you up so we can hear you. What's up?
Hey guys, I shared out the live.
Thank you. Appreciate everyone that shares out the live, everyone that comes and engages and likes, all of our super fans, all of our subscribers, all the people that follow and engage. Thank you all very much for everything you do. So I do appreciate it. But yeah, that's another big thing, is sharing out the live, right? So Starks, what's going on, brother? What are you thinking for BTC?
Hey, you know what I think, man. Don't ask me that question. That's a hot topic at the moment, because some people are thinking we're going up and some people are thinking we're going down, and I'm thinking we're probably going to go down and a little sideways before we go up.
Agreed. Honestly, I think it could be pretty much just down and sideways for a while. And you know why? The price of silver being up as high as it is, that is a huge red flag for me. And you know, we get into silver, right? Because people get into gold, they get into silver because they're looking for a way to, you know, store their value when the dollar is uncertain. So, seeing silver going like it is, hit a new all-time high today, is very concerning for me.
And there's a lot of things that are concerning at the moment, especially what's going on with Powell.
With what?
You know, Powell.
Oh, yeah, Jerome Powell.
Yeah, Jerome Powell. They're going to try and chuck him under the bus. And the funny thing is, if he resigns, crypto pumps. If he doesn't resign, right, and he carries on doing what he's doing, yeah, then we're going to carry on going down. Now, the question is, are you going to do what's morally right, or are you going to do something that's going to just give you a financial gain and not morally right?
Right, exactly. And, you know, another issue with the Powell subject, you know, let's talk about that for a second. Powell is just an authoritative mouthpiece, okay? They have to vote on this stuff. So there's more than just one person deciding this. And just because they replace Powell, it'll be one of those speculative pumps that are nothing really is driving the price up as far as, like, you know, good news. It's just speculation that he's gonna be gone, so rates are gonna come down. But really, everybody else on in the Fed that votes on this, they've all been saying that we're probably not going to get a rate cut for a while. Maybe one or two more at the end of the year, like before. But it's not Jerome Powell's decision.
Well, a question for you: how many rate cuts did we have last year?
Well, like 3.
Yeah, they were speculating we're only going to have 2 rate cuts, yeah? But we had 3. Now, this year, the only thing that I'm going to see is, you know, when Powell gets replaced, you're going to have someone's puppet in that seat. And when that happens, the rates are going to come down, but inflation's going to go through the roof.
Yeah, that's what's concerning too is, manipulating the rates, how that, that's what controls the inflation, right? And minusculely, but it does, right? But also we have what's concerning is the job markets rate. That's they're
Yeah, that come out yesterday, innit?
yeah. I didn't see it. Did you see what it said? I already know that it's bad, right?
Yeah, it wasn't particularly good. I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing. I got the general idea of what was going on, and I didn't watch it till the end. I thought, okay, he's talking like this. That's what's happening. Move on.
Cooper 888 says, "Why is the United States paying interest for their own money?" That's funny. You got jokes, bro.
Because it's not their money, it's British money.
Right, but it's all this. Really, no one owns the debt, and I'm going to break this
Someone
down in
owns the
my
debt.
macroeconomics class that I teach. So I teach like technical analysis, macroeconomics, and trading strategy, right? And one of the things is the way the debt works and how it filters around like that. It's not what you think, but actually the debt is a good thing. The higher our debt goes up, the better it is for us.
And how does that work, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'm thinking the opposite.
Well, it's one of those.
I would also like to beg to differ on that. I mean, I understand the flow of currency, but that doesn't make sense to me.
If we have more debt, then we can sell more of our debt. Is basically the concept.
Yeah, but if you didn't have a debt, then you could sell loans and make money.
Right, and I understand that, but we're not getting out of debt. I'll tell you that right now. That ain't happening. So the Band-Aid fix is to create more debt. That's all I'm saying. Right.
Yeah, kick the bucket down the road. So that's what's going on at the moment.
Exactly. So yeah, is it a good thing? In the big scheme of things and how everything is just crumbling. No, it's not good. But in the short term, let's put a Band-Aid on it and, pump liquidity into the market and into society. It's kind of good. It's a double-edged sword, guys.
Hold on. It's, you referred to putting a Band-Aid on it, right? But I'll give you the equivalent. That's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a black hole.
Yeah, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
It's exactly, dude. It's putting a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the issue with putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, we just continually have been putting Band-Aids on the bullet wound. Eventually, we have to rip off the Band-Aid, and there's going to be sting to that. And then on top of it, then we got to go in there and dig the bullet out, stop the bleeding, patch it up, stitch it up, and then it can start to heal. But honestly, no one's trying to do that. No one's trying to do the real fix. They want to.
That's what you're saying. That's what you're seeing right now with Venezuela. Yeah. He's trying to get the resources, right, to pull his country out of crap, but he's not doing it by legal means, which is another concern. What sort of image reflection is he going to put onto other countries if he's going to go do willy-nilly what he wants and not abide by the rules?
Stash says the U.S. debt puts our grandchildren in slavery. The economy needs to crash and reset. I 100% agree with that. Everything is hyperinflated. It all has to come tumbling down. It's a house of cards that is teetering on the side of a cliff.
I would like to point out, I kind of think, we stopped printing pennies this year. I kind of think that in, 2-3 years, we're probably going to stop
they're
printing.
Starting to make them again. So that changed. What? Yep, they're making.
When did that happen?
That was like 2 days ago. They're starting the production of pennies again because there's such a penny shortage right now. Dude, I've been going and buying rolls of pennies. I'm actually because right now I'm pretty much sidelined from the market, and I'm holding cash. What I'm doing is instead of holding cash, I'm buying change, and then I'm going through the change. I'm looking for silver.
I promise you, for the next month, I am not. I am absolutely 100% not out of the crypto market. I want to see what happens after March because
Well,
I
I'm not.
can draw.
Let me
I can
rephrase it.
draw it
I'm not
on
out of the
every
market.
single.
I'm stable coined up mostly. But most of my investments, like
I'm
even my
buying
real
right now.
estate, man, like I'm trying to get rid of my real estate because I have a feeling that the market's going to crash. And
Well,
silver
that's
is the
inevitable.
indicator.
That's inevitable. The market, the real estate market is so overinflated right now that it's almost unaffordable to buy property anywhere. And I know this. I just came out of real estate from the last, fucking 6 years, right? Like I've been a real estate agent. The market right now is so it's ugly how overinflated it is.
Yeah.
Very overinflated at the moment. And the thing is, Trump's had to do this to make their figures look good.
Right. And that's a problem that he's more concerned about looking good than doing what's right for the market and for everything, right? I
Well,
mean,
the
even
problem,
gas like came down a little bit, right? But
I
like
kind
he
of feel like
promised
it's
all this stuff and like we haven't seen it. He promised us no tax on crypto. He's honestly the only promise that he made that he's really been sticking to is deportations.
well, I'm gonna be honest. When he was running, the only thing he said was no tax on crypto that's U.S. propagated, right?
Right,
So like,
exactly.
so what do you got there? You got Ripple and a handful of other companies,
But
right?
that's not even happening. That's not even coming. Like
No, I
there's
understand
nothing
that.
on the books,
I
there's
bought
nothing
I
being
bought
written,
I
there's
bought a
no
fucking
executive
twenty
order.
three thousand dollar I bought a $23,000 vehicle this year based off of hoping that that was going to come true. Now I'm going to have to pay all that tax. I get it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not immune to the what's going on there. I'm just saying, like, that was the idea behind it, not all crypto.
Right. I get what you're saying. And thank you for clarifying that. But pretty
yeah,
much most
to say
everyone
something in
knows what I'm
regards to what
talking about
Trump's
here.
been saying.
I'm giving a generalized idea, and like we can argue and nitpick about little facts, but one of the things that I want people to try to learn to do is let's stop arguing over little nitpick things and try to understand the spirit of what people are trying to convey. The message I'm trying to get across here is that Trump has made a lot of promises and he hasn't really followed through with any of them. Even with the tariffs, that was one of his promises that he ran on, and he kind of flip flopped back and forth on that thing. And now we're, what is it? Tomorrow we're going to find out if it's even legal for him to do that. The
And that's
only
going to cause
real
another problem because companies like Target and Walmart that have been paying these taxes, if it's deemed illegal, they're going to want their money back. And where's that money going to come from? Taxpayer.
Exactly, and it'll be like another bailout, is what it's going to be like.
Yeah, I'd just like to say one thing. Trump was right about one thing. I have to give him kudos for this. He says, you're going to win so much, you're going to say, stop winning. I don't want no more. Well, I'm looking at what's happening with the market. I ain't won nothing, but I want it to stop.
Yeah, that's for real. For real. Like I won, because I was smart. I saw the writing on the wall and I got out after he got inaugurated because I listened to what he said. And when he said that he was going to be doing tariffs on everyone, that was part of his campaign. So like I bought the rumor and sold the news. As soon as we got the news that he is in office and inaugurated, I was like, all right, next step is tariffs. And sure enough, it happened. And it's just been a roller coaster ever since.
So if you look on my page, there's only two videos, right? There's one of like me doing a drone video over a fucking river, and then and then there's a picture, or it's an ascending wedge on XRP when it before it fucking took the big dive, right? It already took a dive before that, but like before it took the big dive, and that's where I sold, and I rebought at like $2, right? Like I waited it out,
You
and
did the same thing as me.
I bought 163, man.
No, I'm not
163 was
joking.
my
I'm not
rebuy.
joking.
And dude,
I seen
told
the
everybody
ascending wedge when it happened, bro. Like
it was right here. It was January 28th. I sold
Yep.
and I warned everybody. I said, "Hey, we're going to crash and we're going to continue moving downward in like a bearish trend until we hit about 160 to 163." I set my price point at 163. Boom, that shit hit. And then we went all the way up to 340, right? Or excuse me, 365, right? 367. All right. And then that same prediction, I said we would hit up to about 160 one I said about 375, 380. We didn't quite make it there. And then we would run down to about 130. So 130 to 160 is my buy point to DCA in on XRP. And even then, it's not really on my radar anymore. Like, why would I buy something like XRP? Like, it kind of makes no sense. If you're going to buy XRP, you might as well buy Bitcoin.
I will argue counterpoint there, because like we were just talking about this a little bit ago, right? When you start talking about national debt and things like that, right? And the clearances that we're getting, that we're seeing behind the scenes, right? Where we're getting approved here, we're getting approved there, we're getting approved for oil trade, we're getting approved for whatever, right? Like, yes, that doesn't influence it quite right now, right? Like it doesn't influence the market, but those are little gains, those are little wins. And I know that when I say that, like I understand how crazy that sounds, right? Like when you talk about the world's largest exports of oil and being traded with XRP, that doesn't that should sounds like it should be a huge win, but it's really not, because it doesn't influx. There's so many XRP, right? Like there's 100 billion of those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
and Ripple owns 44% of it.
I think is it that is?
Yep.
I think is it 42?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something around that mark. I don't know the exact, but it's something around the 40%.
It was 44.
Yes.
I'm guessing 42 now because they've sold a bit.
I was thinking it was closer to around like the 40, 39, but even if it's not
40%,
right?
let's
like,
just round it. 40%.
Okay, let's call it 40%, right? Like Ripple owns 40%. Even if they were a scam, even if they were in it to just tank it, right? What do they really got to win at this point?
That's the problem.
Ripple's winning all the time. Hold on. Ripple's winning all the time because all they're doing is taking the liquidity every time people put money in. Exactly. We're seeing that right now. We're seeing it with Bitcoin. Look at all the cliff edges we've had and then dropped straight down, making it look like a faker and then drops every time.
And what
do we have? What do we have by the government taking possession of most of the Bitcoin? Then, let me ask you that.
The government isn't taking most possession of the Bitcoin. Who told you
no,
that?
But that's their goal, right?
No, their goal is
we're creating a crypto reserve.
Hold on. Their goal with the Bitcoin strategic reserve is, for years they've seized Bitcoin and just dumped it into the market. So now they see the potential that Bitcoin can go up. So the idea is to have an escrow where they unlock certain amounts to pay off certain debts and things like that, and to sell it more strategically.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
What do you
under
mean,
the
don't
simple
believe that? That's what it is. It's written in black and white. You can believe, in
hold
one
up,
hand and
hold
shit
up,
in
let
the
me
other. Which
explain.
one's going to fill
Let
up
me
first?
explain. Let me explain. All right. So if they do that, right? So they've been seizing Bitcoin. You just said that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
For
Correct?
like 10 years now.
Yep.
And
They've been seizing
and they
Bitcoin.
dump it. Every time they get it, they just sell it.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct. So now all of a sudden their goal changes to accumulating it.
Well, just holding it
Correct?
to sell.
Am I wrong?
No, not accumulating. That is incorrect.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, the key word in his statement is strategic. People miss that word
Yes.
very often.
Yes.
And so the difference is accumulation is that the Bitcoin is going to be purchased by the US government. No, they're going to acquire it and they're going to sell it when it's high instead of selling it at whatever price it is and dumping the market.
Except for like 4 days ago, they put out a statement that basically says they're going to start accumulating.
No.
Yes.
Show me. Tell me where to
Okay.
go. I'll pull it up right now.
Give me a minute.
Prove it.
Put your money where your mouth is, bud.
Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
All right. Anybody can just say or think or misinterpret what they read. And that's what I think Starks was saying there is like people misinterpret what is actually being said. Would you agree with me, buddy?
100%. Look, it's called a strategic reserve. Strategic means they're going to find ways to put money into there without having to put their hands in their own pocket.
Right.
That's what the word strategic means in this case. And people, they see the Federal Reserve, crypto reserve, and they think fantastic.
Right.
Now, the flip side is bonds are being sold in USDT now to pay off some of these debts and stuff.
And really, what
Right.
we're seeing is the U.S. government becoming what Ripple is to XRP, holding a massive supply and dumping on it when it goes up.
Exactly.
Yeah. And unfortunately,
But you know what the concerning part is? Here's the concerning part that I see. That I hear everyone talking about the country's debt, right? Now, the debt is like 40K at the 40 billion at the moment, right? But you know what the public's debt is in the United States? 140 billion.
yeah.
Right? So when you're messing with numbers like that, you got to tread very, very carefully. Because it can go wrong way very quick.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't see them doing anything to fix the situation. These stimulus checks, they're not going to help. They're just going to, like it says, Band-Aid on a gunshot wound, you know what I mean? Right? We're not going to see no real fixing of anything. In fact, I think I ain't trying to be biased or nothing, but from what I've seen so far, the only thing I've seen the orange man do is line his own pockets. Yeah. And the ones that are sitting around the table with him.
You know what I think? I think the ship is sinking and they're stealing the silverware.
Exactly. 100%.
Let's see here. It looks like Joe's back. All right, Joe, what do you got for me? And not to disparage you or anything, but like this is a fact-based show. So if you're gonna say anything, I need something to back it up. You got to have the receipts.
You're good. You're good because this is some stuff that came across my Google a couple of days ago, and I started reading into it, and the more I read into it, and the more I kind of searched it, the more that popped up. So I kind of want outsiders' opinions in it. I've been in fucking Bitcoin since 2011. I'm doing good in my life. But
Only if you sell. Right?
well, I take bits
Profits.
and pieces when
Right,
I
right.
want it. You know?
But you have to sell it in order to realize it.
What is
Well-
it that needs to be fact checked? Tell me what it is.
Basically, what was it that
Hold up.
hold on.
I got the exact search for you.
Revolution is our fact checker for the show. So basically, the idea is that the United States will be accumulating Bitcoin
US
to put into
Go-
the strategic reserve.
Google US government will likely start to buy Bitcoin.
There's no proof of that. Okay, so let me just
No,
help you out with something, bro.
I know
Okay.
there's no proof of it.
Right. And so that's the thing is this is a fact-based show. Everything needs to be backed up with proof. Anyone
Well-
can say likely. Google,
No.
okay, Google
I-
is an
I
AI generated
want-
response. Hold on, let me talk. All right. I don't want to have to rug you. Google is an AI generated response and it gets those responses based off of what other people post.
Correct.
What we're looking
is-
for is the factual, actual information. Okay.
I want you to Google that and skip
First
the
of all,
AI.
I don't Google. Okay.
skip
so
skip
we
the
have-
AI.
We have a professional fact checker that digs in not just to Google, every search engine, looks at the official documents, okay? And then we'll read them to us. So we're gonna have a fact check on this, and we're gonna have the official documents from the government, because that's the only thing that matters.
I have no idea if there's official documents.
There
from the
is.
government.
See, that's the difference between Googling something or asking AI something and actually fact checking something. Is there's a paper trail for every bit of information out there. Okay, so they can't just do things.
Well,
first
all
of all,
I'm
this
going to
is the
say
United
is
States
it's put
government.
out.
This is
It's
not
put
China.
out. It's put out across more than one media.
It doesn't matter what the media lies to you too, bro.
The media lies every single day, but it doesn't lie from every single angle.
What? Yeah, they do, bro. I have this bridge I'd like to sell you. You interested? Or maybe some oceanfront property in Arizona?
So I'll tell you this, Ben.
Okay. Can I
Being a
talk?
trader,
Yeah, hold on. Give Revolution a second. So she's got the
Yep.
fact check
Nope,
for us. Here.
she's good.
The White House never came out with that statement. That is an assumption by other people that they are somehow going to buy Bitcoin to add to their reserve. Their reserve right now is basically seized assets that they have obtained from the United States and other countries for, people using
Illegal
it
activity.
illegally. The White House has never come out saying that, nor has any government branch of the White House come out to say that they are going to be obtaining Bitcoin, although this is mostly what Bitcoin holders want to hear in order to boost and manipulate the market.
Exactly. So they'll put out whatever rhetoric. Google will mess with your search results. AI will mess with the information it gives you. And people will put out articles every day, so that way AI sees a mass amount of the same response and gives that response out to people, but that doesn't make it true. Okay, what matters is the official statement from the White House, because the White House has to tell us, because it's the United States government and it's ran by and for the people. Okay, so you can speculate on anything. Okay, yeah, I can speculate that the U.S. government is going to buy all the XRP supply from Ripple and then lock it up and never sell it. I can speculate anything I want. It doesn't make it true. We're looking for facts.
So
Yeah, I'd just like to add something. I'm finding a lot of people are relying on AI. And the problem with AI is it doesn't tell you the truth. It tells you what you want to hear. There's a difference.
I'm not
Exactly.
relying on AI. Number one.
Yeah, I don't trust
Google
AI,
is
not
AI,
one
bro.
bit, because
You said you use
I-
Google. Google is AI. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not reading the top AI overview.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever.
The AI chooses what to put in the top search result. You do realize that
I understand what you're
90% of
saying.
the internet is shadow banned now. The 10 years ago when you
So-
used to go to, or not even 10 years, 5 years ago, you used to go to Google and search something, you would
I'm-
get a list of 100
You're-
pages. Now it's
I wa-
reduced that down to 10 pages. So we have lost 90% of the internet. It's still there and exists, but you won't be
completely
exposed to it.
misunderstanding me.
Hey, brother, I am talking. This is my show. All right. And I want to hear what you have to say, but you have to let me finish. Okay? And I will let you finish. I will
Yep,
give you
yep,
the same
nope,
respect.
go.
All
Go.
right. So 90% of the internet search results has been erased. You cannot see it anymore. It's basically not there anymore. And the top 10 pages are what Google wants to push and wants you to see. So you can't rely on Google. You can't rely on a search engine to give you credible information about anything. Especially in what we're talking about, there is a paper trail, an official document to track everything that is done. And if you are not digging through official documents, then you're just talking out your ass. No offense. Okay.
No offense back, right? But I'm a trader, and I go off of how
Your
the
trader
market's
chat.
going to react to the news that's out there.
Okay. So we buy the rumor, we sell the news as a trader, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So the rumor is that they're going to do that. That there's the speculation of that the U.S. government is going to accumulate Bitcoin. We've had
Absolutely.
that rumor. Now we have the news. The news has come out and given us the official document and said otherwise. So it's time to sell the news on that one.
So with that, then where do you find all the news that's came out in the last 4 days? Then
What do you mean? Nothing has come out in the last 4 days.
I
that
can
says
show you.
anything.
I can show you
Show me.
article after article.
Send it to me. But there's no official. Anyone can write an article. I can literally go and write an article right now. They offered me a job at ABC to work for Vice. I could
That's
write an
kinda
article
gross,
about
but okay.
anything. Doesn't mean that it's true. And
Right.
most of these articles they don't even issue redactions for anymore.
The problem is there's these websites and they're like, oh, this is a news article, but the reality is it's coming from some bullshit ass whatever kind of website you want to call it. You need to find it from different sources, from the right, from the left, from the middle, and see what comes up out of all three of them. And the reason why is because you're being shown what you want to see. Your search engine, every time you research something or look at something, it adapts to your algorithm. So you will start getting news articles from non-reputable places, and you think they are because they do. They sound good, they look good, it's what you want to hear or something you might want to hear in the future.
No,
But
I
you need to
totally
find
understand that.
articles on all sides. Let me finish. You need to find articles on all sides of the spectrum, not just right, not just left. Dig deep into everything. And if you don't see it, go to the government website. It shows everything you could want to see. They give you the latest alerts, the announcements, everything. That is not an announcement, nor has it been. The last thing about Bitcoin was putting it into the reserve back in March of 2025.
When it comes
So, like,
to the
I
hold
believe
on, 1 second real
Binance-
quick. This is really short and quick, and then I'll let you have the floor. When it comes to the U.S. government, the fact checking is very easy to do. You just need to see what the official government website report is, and it will be an official document, and that will give you all the information. Okay, anything else is just noise. Go ahead.
So my what I was going to say is I believe Binance about as much as I believe Yahoo Finance, right? Like they're never going to talk bad about any investment ever. I don't give a shit what it is. If it's gold, if it's silver, if it's Bitcoin, if it's XRP, if it's fucking Shiba Inu, right? Like, they're never going to talk bad about it
Right, because they're
because
invested into it.
that's their motive for the article. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, part of the motive is the media is bought and paid for. And that's why people come to shows like mine for decentralized media. I'm not bought and paid for. I have nothing to gain from crypto. I don't even own it. I told you earlier, I'm holding stable coins. I have nothing to gain from pumping the price of anything. I'm here to tell you the truth. And I
hold Bitcoin, but that's because I've been in since 2011.
And you have a Bitcoin bias because of it.
No, not really.
Yes, it's
I don't
called
really
confirmation bias.
fucking believe in Bitcoin.
Bro,
I don't really believe in Bitcoin. To be honest with you,
I understand
I
that, but
think
you
it's
want
a
it to
slow
pump,
piece
don't
of
you?
trash.
You want it to
I think
pump,
it's a
right?
slow ass piece of shit.
Okay, but listen.
I would rather have my money in Bitcoin if it was, say, XRP. However, I have my fragments of Bitcoin from when I was when Bitcoin first came out, when it was basically only Bitcoin and Litecoin. Right? Like, those were the two options on the market.
I have a question for you. From 2011, yeah, to till 2022, yeah, just before the bear market started, right? You must have been loving Bitcoin.
I actually didn't get my key back until last year.
So he
Right.
would have
So
bought
yeah.
pizzas with
So
it if
so
he
you've got a
had
motive to hate Bitcoin then.
He would have bought pizza too.
Yeah.
I had 2.2 Bitcoin in my wallet, and I had
Yeah. Don't disclose. Don't disclose what you got,
Yeah,
bro.
I don't even disclose what I got. And
I will. Well,
hold on.
I don't
Hold
have
on, hold on,
2.2
hold on.
Bitcoin anymore.
I wanna go back to the bias part. Okay, Brooke had said that it's okay to have a bias, and yes, it is okay to have a bias. But when we're looking for facts and we're spreading information, we want to make sure that we are giving out factual information. You can have a bias on that information and your own opinion, but this is a fact-based show, and we want to focus on what are the actual facts. Brooke, did you
I'll
want
tell
to add
you
something?
this.
Well, here's where I go. The actual facts, like we can talk about facts and how things are today. And so here's where I go. Yeah, we can talk about the facts and the fact that the facts don't work anymore in our modern day paradigm. And the Federal Reserve is finding out that modern monetary theory does not work. And if it does, it happens in extraordinary circumstances, which they will have to purvey.
You know.
Anyway,
Hold on, let her talk.
that's beyond my fight. And I'm just here to say that bias, like every single one of us is biased. Like I will say I am biased against Solana because I think Solana is the meme hub club of the world. And I hate meme coins. So I automatically hate Solana. However, the information that is presented to me in the traditional finance world and the infrastructure that's being built tells me something that confronts my bias, and that is Solana. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. It's gonna be used apparently by the big names because they say it will, along with all these other things that everyone craps on, which is really funny because it's infrastructure and it's not just one coin. Like people, you have to look at how this all interacts and like builds together or else you're not going to make it on the other side. And so it's like, I kind of sit back and laugh at things like this because I'm like, okay, for one thing, everyone thinks that they're not biased. Everyone is biased. It's just whether you accept your bias or not, and you accept it as a blind spot and you can see beyond it.
So,
And then another
Brooke,
thing
oh yeah, go ahead.
is this is a completely different paradigm shift. that what we're going off of, gold is telling us that, silver is telling us that, digital assets and the way that the traditional financial world is moving is telling you something's not right. They're changing things and they're moving on to something else. However you interpret that is up to you. You can think that I'm full of poo-poo, but let me tell you, I'm not getting less wrong after 5 years. And so I sit back on this and I just go, it's so much fun. At this point, it's so fun. It's unfortunate, but also so fun to watch everything just happen. And like you, and once you relinquish control, because 5 years ago, I thought, oh my gosh, I can prevent all this if we can all kumbaya together and we can, yeah, no. Everyone, everyone educated
Let
me
that
very
happen, bro.
fast about how awful humans are. And congratulations, the consensus won, everyone.
Yeah.
So now
So
you get in the UK. People in the UK were debating me for years about digital ID and CBDCs are awesome. Congratulations, UK,
no.
you got it. Yay!
Yeah,
Seriously,
but the
for
problem is that
years. Let me t
Well, let her
bro,
finish.
the problem is, right, the UK is the central financial hub for the entire world. So if it's happening here, it's going to filter around the world very, very quickly.
I know.
So
Yeah, yeah,
what I
yeah,
want to say
absolutely.
here,
Sorry.
So I was
hold
completely
on. Let's
against.
reel it in real quick. All right. So we were talking about bias and fact-based information, right? So yes, I have a bias against Solana too. It's the meme coin collectors blockchain. That's what I believe. Obviously, it has other use cases, right? But that's what I see in my mind. But the factual information about Solana is it is an inflationary asset. Now, that doesn't mean that that can't change, but as for now, the way it stands is that's what it is, right? And that goes for the same with the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. Okay, we have the information given to us in black and white that spells out exactly what it is. We can speculate that further on down the road, this and this and this can happen, but as of right now, this is what it is. That's the difference.
This is why I love you because this is the difference between me and you. And I love that you just said what you said because I had this conversation with a couple who like now on the outside, one is severely neurotypical and the other one is severely not neurotypical. And I said, you are like one person is a visionary that can see beyond what is now. The other person is not. And no offense, Crypto Goat. That is where we decipher
Well,
because
I see
no,
the
no, no.
vision.
Here, no, there, no. You do, but you don't at the same time. You can't accept it. There's a
You
very
say a
and
couple of
so
things.
I will say no, hold on. I will say after being in this space for 5 years, there's a personality type, okay? And the type A type of people, and more than likely you fall into other certain type of stereotypical categories. But you can't see beyond your front nose. If it's not there, if it's not fact, if it's not in your face, it doesn't exist. And then there's those of us who can see beyond it, who see what's being built, who can draw between the lines. Those two people are the difference between the people who keep the normie things going. We need you. Congratulations. You are altogether correct in the world that you live in right now, in the reality that you find yourself in right now. It's people like me that tell you, guess what, guys? You're shifting. And you know what doesn't sit well with all of y'all? You can't accept that. And the fact that the things that you thought were true are no longer going to be true. The very foundational
Think,
things that are true will
let,
always, hold on, they will always remain true,
let
which
me
is
push
also
back
very
on this a little bit.
scary. It's also
So
very
that,
scary. The things that are true are very basic and they will remain true. And this, depending on where your bias is, will depend on where you lie on the other side of this.
So
Okay.
this is my
can I
pushback on.
can I just add a
Hold
couple of
on.
things here?
Real quick. Make it quick.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following crypto for the last like 10 odd years, right? And one thing I noticed, right, 2018, 2019, they were talking about banning crypto, right? 2021, they decided that they're going to become part of it and they're going to do something to to utilize it. Now, me being me, I'm thinking to myself, right, they've got a 13 trillion debt. At that time, it was like 10 to 13 trillion. Right, I was thinking if they put in 2 trillion right now and they pull out at the top at 68k, right? They're going to have half that debt paid off. They've never done that. That implies
Yeah,
to me, they've got no intention of paying off this debt.
they don't. They're going to send it, guys. Like,
And
there's
can I
one or
just get
two
to my
things.
second point? Can I just
Yeah,
get to my
no, you're
second point?
right. We drop or they freaking send this market to the stratosphere. Go for it.
Right. The second part is, yeah, you're absolutely right in regarding to Solana, because I'm on the same opinion. It's not doing anything good for the crypto community, but you could make money off it. But that doesn't make it okay. It's just like some of these pharmaceutical companies, right? They're not doing the right things, but we're still making money off them. And the other thing is, I'm over 40, right? So I remember the days of VHS. And at the time of VHS, they had another VHS cassette as well called a Betamax. Now, the Betamax was better than the VHS, but it wasn't the most popular, right? So it never got mainstream attention. And it could be the same thing in crypto. Just because Bitcoin's the best doesn't mean it's going to be the front runner. XRP could take that spot, or Ethereum could take that spot. We don't know
Here's the
yet.
thing. No, no, no. Here's the thing. There's no spot to be had. That's
It's an
my whole fight
ecosystem.
here. It's
Yeah,
an yes, it's an
yeah.
ecosystem. And so what XRP does, what Bitcoin does, what Ethereum does, what Chainlink does, what Quant does, it will all. And so if you can think about this thing as a sifting type of mechanism, the entire marketplace is going to sift out how they're going to utilize each one of these protocols. The
My point
infrastructure.
was just because something's the best doesn't mean it's going to be the one that's going to be utilized.
No, that's
Look
true.
at Apple
It's
with the iPhone. It's not the best, but it's user friendly, and it used
you
to
know,
be the
I
most
love my
secure,
own.
and now it's not. Now it's not as secure. So like, it's just one of those things where as time goes by, things change. But I wanted to push back on what you were saying about
I
um,
love my iPhone. I'm
being
just here to say it
being. I
unapologetically.
love
I
my
don't. I
Google
hate
Pixel,
the.
man.
I hate the Esther.
As a content
I'm
creator,
telling.
it's amazing. The best phone on, the best camera on the market, right?
As
And
a person who hates technology but talks about it a lot, who likes to stay the same, and like Apple's great.
all right, so I want to circle back to what you were saying. Is like there are those that are the visionaries that can read between the lines and see beyond, and there are those that are like stuck in the facts, right? So
Yeah.
here's what I want to tell you is that I do see between the lines, and I do see the direction we are headed. And honestly, a lot of times we agree on most things, right? Um, and I do have that vision, and I understand that this is going somewhere. A lot of times I say things very hyperbolically, that adoption already happened, that PayPal's the same thing. The idea is to get people to start thinking critically and to question things and to not just take everything at face value. That's the point of it. It's TV, right? But the purpose of this show is to stop, not necessarily FUD things, but to stop misinformation and to stop, um, the crazy nonsense that's been filtering throughout the system with crypto in particularly, um, I saw a void that needed to be filled. Everyone here was about speculation, and I speculate too, you know, but I built this show to be fact based for a reason, because that's the void that needed to be filled in this space. There was too much nonsense information or crazy pipe dreams, hopium being spread, and I was like, you know what? Let's have a show that kind of
Let me
sticks to.
push back on
Hold on,
you.
hold on. Let's stick to the facts and let people decide for themselves. Because I do have my opinion, I do have my visionary, but I decided to put that aside and not spread that and try to focus on what is happening right now and what is real and tangible that we can prove, and also at the same time have an opinion and speculate a little bit. But the idea is if somebody comes on here and says that the United States government is acquiring Bitcoin and says that, I'm going to tell them no, they're not. That's the only difference. But go ahead.
Here, no, and here's where I'll push back, and here's the visionary thing. No wealth has been created. No, the very few people have made it in life by basing their forward thinking into the now. It is always the visionaries. It's always the people who are like, no, 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 this is what it could be. Apple back in the day, there was 50 million reasons why Apple wouldn't be a thing. But guess what? It was. And guess what? It gave you plenty of signs to tell you that it was. And guess what? Multiple people here who are older than me tell me sob stories. My first finance professor gave me my first finance lesson over the fact that she sold Apple at a fraction of a penny whenever she like bought into it. And she said that was the stupidest thing because I was typical. And that always stuck with me. Be typical. Stay in the facts, everyone. Stay in the world that you're at now, because it's true. It's happening. You can correlate it. You can do all the things. What I'm here to tell you is that entire paradigm is going to shift. And if you're not ready for it, it's absolutely going to freaking melt your face. Silver has melt faces. Gold has melt faces. 4 or 5 years ago, people told me I was absolutely crazy, that that was a boring market. And I said, you should be accumulating right now. And I was laughed at. Guess what, guys? And
When
guess what?
something's
No one had
boring,
invaded
that's when you should be
anyone.
accumulating it, right? When it's
Exactly.
hyped up, that's when you should
Brooke,
be. And that's the point of what
Brooke.
I'm doing here, Brooke, is that everything's a bit hyped up. Obviously, we're starting to come back down, but believe in this. And I firmly believe that this is all going to go crazy, right? At some point, and it's going to melt your faces off and everything you're saying. I do agree with that. Maybe not $10,000 for XRP, but notice what it says is XRP will not go to 10K this cycle, because
Right.
it's just unfathomable. It's just not going to happen, right? That doesn't mean
Now,
that
a
it can't go to
hundred
10K, right?
Right. And so it's all about use case. There's this whole supply and demand thing here. And so truly, truly, here's the thing. Here's where I want people. Here's where I go. I want to caution you, because you're like, oh, facts, 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 facts. Listen, this technology has never been adopted at scale. The paradigm shift that we are undergoing has never happened at the level that the entire world is going to shift at the exact same time. And however the cards fall in that shift, I don't know. What I
Honestly, I
do
don't
know
think it
is that the
shifts like
evidence
that.
is telling you.
I don't think it shifts like
How
that.
how not?
We've
Does
seen
not the
in
recent events
history,
tell you? Okay,
we've seen in history, right? How, and let's do money for example, right? Because we're talking about the shift of money. We didn't shift to
perfect.
from gold to paper notes overnight. It was a transition over
Right.
time, and that's what I see happening,
It
is a transition over time.
Right, but that so it happens slowly, slowly, and all at once, right? Like 1971, when this other paradigm shift happened, it didn't happen overnight, but it also happened overnight. there was plenty of quote unquote coin clippage of gold before France ever came asking for their paper money in exchange for their physical gold. A very similar thing is happening on the world stage right now with silver, oddly enough.
Absolutely. The question
And
is
do you remember months ago we
why
were on
though?
here and we were both going, silver,
I,
precious
I got a
metal,
question for you,
silver.
Brooke. Why do you think silver's pumping?
It shows us exactly where we're at in this cycle. On a
No.
macro picture, yes,
No.
it does.
No.
No, hold on. I've been here for 5 years telling people in an event like I think we're coming upon. This is 5 years ago, Brooke, 5 years ago. I said, I'm a macroeconomist. I see this thing coming. Russia hadn't invaded Ukraine yet. Okay. No one had invaded anyone yet. I was on here saying before anyone could see a liquidity crisis, a dollar crisis, a yen crisis, uh, a world war crisis. I said, I think we're on this. I think this is happening. Have I gotten more wrong or have I gotten more right? I've gotten more right. And I said, if this is happening, this is 5 years ago, people. I said, if this is happening, what should you buy? Historically, gold and silver do fabulous. If we are undergoing a shift historically, like I think we are, buy gold, buy silver. That was 5 years ago. Who else called that?
I did.
Me.
Me.
I called it because, listen
Pretty
to
much
me,
everyone.
it shows on the global macro picture what is happening to fiat. The entire world is on a fiat debt monetary based system. And what they are experiencing, what they don't know, is that it's collapsing on them. The world sucks. Your world sucks because of debt, because your money is derived off of debt. That is
So,
collapsing. And so we will shift. And so what you're seeing central banks buy gold in the tunes of over 6 years. They have been buying up gold. Uh, let me the Basel upgraded gold to a tier one asset with no counterparty risk. It went from a three-tier asset to a one-tier asset. Now you tell me, where is the world heading? And you tell me where the banks are spending their money. Are they buying gold or are they buying fiat? They're buying gold. Does
Okay.
that not tell you where we're at?
So let me push back just a little bit on the silver. And here's the thing is, I agree with you. Okay. I think we are hitting a global financial shift, and that's why we're seeing these fluctuations in gold and silver to the upside. And I think in the past we've seen silver be very volatile. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to lose much of its value. However, on the fact-based side of things, right? So let's just look at the facts. Because of AI, they're using more silver. Okay. And then also, silver has been suppressed for a very, very long time. And so it's kind of catching up to where it should be. And also, China is
Here's
no
the question.
longer.
Why did they suppress it? Hold on. That's a very important question because silver has been suppressed since the
Because
1960s.
silver
Yeah, there's a
has.
When
reason for
you
that.
saw you
Everybody,
saw
silver
a
was over abundant.
multi-generation.
everyone,
Did you
Can I?
see that cup and handle?
everyone
Did you see that cup and handle? The multi
on gold.
45-year cup and handle? No, that silver pulled before it went to $85.
Gold has a cup and handle on the monthly right now.
Ooh, heck yeah. So
Can
go
I?
look at
Can
the
I just add
ratio. Go
something
look at the
about silver?
historical ratio. Go look at the
Hold on, I
historical
want to answer
ratio
your
between
question,
gold
Brooke.
and silver.
Everyone started going. What was that question you asked? See, this is why we got to reel it in, guys. We got to answer the questions. If you're gonna throw a question out there, you
I'm
gotta
two
let the
glasses of wine in, just so
I'm not
everyone.
gonna argue.
Hey,
I love you, Brooke.
look.
You're awesome.
Can I just comment on this silver scenario at the moment?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Right. The reason why silver's gone up, right, is because although a lot of countries are mining it, they don't refine it. It's all refined in China. Now, China have just come up and says they're no longer going to trade with the rest of the world in precious minerals. So that's driven the price up. If you look at the price of silver, before the 1st of January this year, China was buying it $10 higher than what the Western world was buying it for. So
Yep.
the price was being suppressed by the West, and now these sanctions come into place, and they're not selling it. The price of silver has skyrocketed for two reasons. One, because of this new government China law that they're coming out with about precious metals, and two, silver is one of the main ingredients for the new type of battery that's coming out.
So one thing about silver is, so the question I remember now is, why was silver suppressed? One reason is because they wanted to keep gold as the gold standard, right? Because China had so much silver, much more than we did, and China's basically been on the silver standard. We've been on the gold standard, right? Gold has a use case, right? Just like silver does. But silver's use case is actually much more than gold is. We use silver in our breakers, in our computers, in our electrical. Honestly, we use copper wire. We would use silver for copper wire if it weren't for the fact that silver was previously traded as a currency before the use case of conductivity came along, because it's actually more conductive.
It had intrinsic value before it had monetary value before it had conductivity value.
The problem
because
with
here's
silver.
the thing.
Hold on, everyone chill out. So the thing is that we decided, we were like, okay, well, we have copper and it gets the job done, just not as well, but it's cheaper because like you said, Brooke, is copper already had intrinsic value, right? Now, what's another reason why?
Disagree, bro.
It's been suppressed because it has more use case. Okay, so we're utilizing.
What
it
were
more
Dorothy's
often.
shoes? Dorothy's shoes. Hold on, sorry. No. Muhammad, what were Dorothy's shoes going down the yellow brick road
Ruby
to
red
the Emerald
slippers.
City? They
Red.
weren't ruby red in the book. What were they? The
Blue.
book.
I don't know. I never read the book.
They were
Silver.
The book,
that's right. They were
in the
silver.
book, they were silver because they represented the monetary use case of silver galloping down a
let me just
to the
explain
Emerald
myself.
City of Fiat.
Can I just explain myself why I'm saying that's not true about copper and silver? Because silver doesn't work good at high temperatures. It can only be used in low power devices, whereas copper has a better heat resistance and it can be used with higher voltage and sustain higher temperatures for longer. That's why silver's not used in mainstream circuit boards.
They use silver in breakers. Breakers are high voltage and
high temperature. Yeah, they're the breaking part. That's what I'm saying. They provide the resistance to go so the circuit don't
what I'm talking
overload
about is copper wire, right? We would use silver wire if it weren't for intrinsic value, is what I'm saying.
1000%. According to so this is where I get really nerdy on the atomic table. Yes, silver is a much better conductive of electricity
and obviously gold is
than
better.
copper. Gold is the ultimate.
We got an expert in the house. We've got Run Up in the house who's an expert. Yeah, I'd love to hear what he's got to say.
And let me reset.
I will say that gold doesn't.
The room real quick. Everybody smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends, follow everybody in the panel over here. These are all great people. I don't know Joe very well, but he seems to know a thing or two.
I would like to add something?
Hold on. I'm resetting the room here. I'll give you a
Yeah.
chance to talk after Run Up, okay? So I want to give a formal introduction to Run Up. Go ahead, brother. You have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Oz. And I think um Mohammed has misspoken because I am not an expert by any measure. But I do know that silver is a better conductor of electricity than gold and copper.
Is that it? All that for that? I'm just messing with you.
Yeah,
Joe, what'd you have to say, buddy? Go ahead, Joe.
I just wanted to say that, like, I kind of feel like I was a little misunderstood earlier. I may have Bitcoin, right? But like the majority of my crypto asset is not in Bitcoin. Is the majority of my money is not held in Bitcoin.
Same here.
It's not held in XRP. It's not held in any. The majority of my crypto is held in Litecoin, but that's because I bought Litecoin when Bitcoin was $100.
Right.
You know,
The majority of my
I bought.
holdings is in real estate, classic cars, silver, and I mean not silver stocks, silver bars and things like that. Like I hold hard assets, right?
I get that. I'm not.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm not saying anything like that, man. I'm saying that as far as crypto goes, like to be told that I hold a bias because of Bitcoin, right?
well, I mean,
Like
okay,
the
I'm
majority of my
You
my
do.
assets,
You do naturally.
everyone
It's
has a
the
I
bias,
don't.
Joe.
OG.
I really don't. I really don't
I
because I
hold
think
a
it's a
bias
shithole.
knowing about XRP. It's okay to admit your bias. Just admit to
No,
it and move
Right.
I
on.
literally think that Bitcoin is a junk coin, and I hope it tanks.
I
Well,
hope
you
it
be
tanks too, so I
right.
can buy more.
No,
So
I
what's
hope it
gonna happen?
tanks to
Hold on,
zero.
hold on. What's gonna happen to your Litecoin if Bitcoin tanks?
You know, the next coin that takes over will drive the market.
Yeah,
I don't
you do
think there's the
understand.
next
In order for the
coin.
next,
There is no next coin. Okay, we've moved past
See,
that. It's an ecosystem, and it all moves with Bitcoin. I'm calling it the simul cycle or the unicycle, but basically the whole Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then alts, then memes. I believe that's out the window. I think everything moves with Bitcoin now.
it does. It
yeah,
absolutely
Bitcoin's
does.
the S&P 500 of crypto.
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it.
Yep.
The way I see it is Bitcoin is not sustainable and it's a junk coin. Honestly, it takes damn near an hour to make a transaction on it.
That has
So
changed with layer 2
Thank
technology.
goodness.
So that is no
Well,
longer the case. So because of layer 2s and layer 3s, Bitcoin can now operate fast. It can be cheaper, and it'll only get faster and cheaper. So that
I
argument's off
I
the table now.
I will firmly disagree that it will ever be a good coin, bro.
I think it'll be a great coin for holding value because it's slow. Therefore,
That's all it's good for.
it's something that people are going to buy and hold on to, right?
That
Digital
is the
gold is what
only
people
thing
are
it's
calling
good
it.
for.
Yeah.
I think it was the first psyops from this whole movement.
Honestly, I
I
think
think
it
that they,
stands
so
for
I think they did an opposite. I
I
think that they did an opposite buy-in. So what I think, and I will put on my tinfoil crown, everyone. I think that they said Bitcoin beta test coin is going to be the first one. How are we going to market this? We're going to market it first as it being outside of the system. All of these people, they will never come onto a system if they think that they were coerced like the typical system that we used back during the Jekyll Island years. So we have to be better. We have to. So we're going to do the opposite. We're going to release this asset that lies outside of the system that they quote unquote hate. And then they're going to buy onto it. They're going to sell you on it. People are going to preach it, live it, because they truly do believe it. And then they're going to take over it, just like they always do. And then that's where I go. That's where I say, here's where I go. That's where I come in and say, I have always understood that the money system is rigged. I always understood that there's overlords. And I'm like, the history that was back then is happening today, and I see that they have chosen a select few.
Okay, so
And from there, you'll have your other like building off of this infrastructure, but they are setting the main infrastructure, and the chosen ones are the chosen ones are the chosen ones. That's not just XRP. That's Chainlink. That's Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin has a utility in here. It's just it's not how they sold you at it at first. So
absolutely.
you're gonna have to come to terms with that.
I Since we all have our tinfoil hats on already, leave it on for a second. This is my little rabbit hole on Bitcoin. Okay, so we know that Satoshi Nakamoto basically means Central Intelligence Agency, right? I believe that Bitcoin is being sold and pushed for the sole purpose of when this switch flip global monetary system change happens, right? Everyone's going to speculate Bitcoin, right? And it is a nation toppler. What does the CIA do? They manipulate elections and overthrow governments and so on and so forth, right? So how can you do that? They literally did this in Rick and Morty. How do you topple a government? By changing a 1 to a 0, right? So basically, the idea is to create the financial strategic reserve for Bitcoin, right? Get other countries to basically start buying up Bitcoin, because we're not going to buy it, right? We're just holding it. Maybe we do buy it or whatever, right? I believe that the CIA holds the Satoshi wallet, right? What's there, like 100 billion Bitcoin that they have?
A
They're
little
going to
over a million.
sell everybody on the idea to buy up Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, there's
Get
only 21 million.
hold
You-
on, hold on.
Hold on.
Okay,
Well, there's only 21 million Bitcoin.
hold on. All right. So the idea is there's only 21 billion Bitcoin, or million Bitcoin, you say? That's in circulation. There's 100 billion Bitcoin sitting in the Satoshi Nakamoto wallet. Okay. Someone has that wallet, I believe, and I believe it's the CIA that has it. And they get all these countries to create their own private reserves where they start accumulating Bitcoin, and they have all their wealth into Bitcoin, right? And they're just buying it as it goes up, and it just keeps going up, and they think it'll never go down, and then what does the CIA do? They come in and they rug it. That's what I think.
Yeah, you know, us and Brooke, since we've got the tin hats on and stuff, right? You know, I completely agree with you, bro. I mean, I'm looking at it at a slightly different picture, but the ballpark's the same. My picture is this. If they wanted to control your finances and everything, and they told you they're going to implement a system, you're not going to have none of it. But if they told you it was a way out of the fiat system and have your own independence, right, then everyone's going to jump for it, which then gives them the capitalization to research it, put the blockchain into effect so they can control your and watch your finances and everything you do. Right. So, yeah, I completely agree. I also think when Bitcoin gets to a certain level, it is going to turn into a meme coin at some point.
Okay.
'Cause-
Revolution, can we get a fact check on the circulating supply of Bitcoin, the actual supply of Bitcoin, and how much Bitcoin is in the Satoshi wallet?
It's a little over a million in the Satoshi
This
wallet.
is a fact-based show, and there's been some speculation in the chat here. So let's get the facts on that.
Yeah, the total supply is around 21 million. The circulating supply is a little over 20 million.
Okay, and then how much is in the Satoshi wallet?
A little over a million.
Million. Okay. My mistake, okay, on the numbers there. But a million Bitcoin, all right, by one person, the original person, can rug the entire thing up. Revolution says that you were right on those numbers run up. So that's all I'm saying is I don't believe that Satoshi was a guy that just out of the kindness of his heart invented Bitcoin and never sold a dime of it and either passed away or is just never going to sell it. I just don't buy it.
Yeah, you know what I found strange as yeah. On the 2012, like around about that era, the Apple MacBook CDs had the Bitcoin white paper on them as well. I don't know how this adds up into the whole equation, yeah, but why would you have the Bitcoin white paper on an operating CD?
Joe says, why am I muted for being right? You're not muted for being right. You're muted for continually interrupting me. So I did unmute you so you can unmute yourself and you can, but you got to stop interrupting. Starks, this is your warning.
My warning.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying is I find it quite strange how the white paper ended up on the operating CD for an Apple Mac. You know, when you install Apple Mac onto your computer, you have a copy of the white paper somewhere on the computer as well. These are things that haven't added up yet, but at some point in the near future, they will make sense. But until we know, we're in this guessing game.
Yeah. I think Bitcoin is the greatest rug of all time. Go ahead, run it.
I said good night. That's all I had to say, man. Like, I appreciate you accepting me on your live stream, and I wish nothing but the best for you. But good night.
Have a good night, brother.
Yep.
See you later.
Night, Joe.
By the way, no disrespect for muting you. I can't. We're trying to have a debate. That's what this is, right? Nobody's right or wrong. Okay, it's not about whether you're right or wrong being silenced. It's about not interrupting people and giving them the floor. All right, where were we? What were we talking about?
To be honest, we're in early days at the moment. There's a lot of conspiracy theories and all sorts flying about, as with everything else. So, until we get some more concrete evidence on what's actually going on, we're just going to have to sit back and watch and see what's going on the TV show, crypto TV show, Yeah,
I think all of it's conspiracy. Like, XRP is a part of that. Like, they all know exactly. That's the thing. And it's shocking to me that people are over here going like, oh, they don't know, and Clarity Act. Yes, all of that, yes. At the exact same time, the ones that they have chosen, they are already chosen, and it's not one. It's not just XRP. It's a part of it. So people who are on here who are committed to misunderstanding me, that's not what I'm saying. They know exactly the rails and the trusted rails that they're going to use. It's already been decided.
Yeah.
It's just we're just in the happening. Venezuela, the happenings there, all of Iran, all of it tells me exactly that we are in the transition. And people always talk about this flip of the switch. It's not going to happen. They want to wait for an overnight thing. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden this happens. What I like to tell people is hold on, you're in the happening, people. This
Yeah,
is
but what's
happening.
going on?
Hold on, let her finish.
Oh, sorry.
No, and no, that's all. No, that's really it. You are in the happening. What has been is fading away. What is to come is coming into light. There will be death and there will be birth.
Stash
Okay.
says UBI will be launched in less than 10 years. All coins will go to zero.
I say less than 5 years. I say we're going to have UBI probably by at least by 2030, if not by
Yeah.
I
2028.
can tell you exactly when UBI is implemented. And mark my words, I don't know
Not the
when.
UK
Oh,
guidelines.
hold on. I don't know exactly when, but this is how you'll know it's coming. Okay, is when all the robots start taking the jobs, and we're kind of there right now. It's a slow transition with that. We're seeing the driverless cars, but once you start seeing a standardized of everything is automated, UBI is the next stop, because no one will
Not
have
in the
jobs, no one will
BMW
have income
factories.
anymore.
Have you
We
not seen the
mustn't let the
BMW
normies
factory?
know. Sorry, this is another part where I go,
Yes.
everyone in my physical life is like, that's not happening. That's not real. You're crazy. And I'm
Oh,
like,
it's happening. All right,
okay,
Starks,
okay.
what'd you have
Yeah, I
to
mean,
say?
I
Yeah,
think it's happening, but I
Wait,
don't
let
think
Starks,
it's any.
let's start
Okay.
real quick. Go ahead, Starks. You have the floor.
I was just saying, it's already started. BMW have already got an automated factory in Germany where there's only about 6 people working in it, and the rest of the 1,000 people that used to work there have been replaced by robots. So, it's already happening. It's a matter of time before it filters down and people start complaining loss of earnings and stuff, and then you're going to have a whole new kettle of fish to deal with before the universal basic income comes into play. So we're going to see a lot of hardship before that happens.
All right, Run Up, you had something to say?
Yeah, I would beg to differ. I don't think that UBI is coming anytime soon. Definitely nowhere within the next decade. I think it'll take way longer than that. I also don't buy into any of these conspiracy theories. I don't think Bitcoin was a psyop. I think it being created by the CIA is feasible, but unlikely. I don't think we'll see some major shift in the global financial system. And
We're
I
already
think
seeing it.
Yeah, it's already
Like, what do
happening.
you,
I mean,
I,
like,
not,
he's
what?
entitled to his
How?
opinion.
what are
I
we
know,
seeing?
but how? But facts matter, right? We
Like the
always talk
U.S.
about
dollar is
facts.
still the world reserve
You
currency.
don't, no, hold on. You don't see gold move and silver do the moves that it does unless it's in historical time. And if you're a macroeconomist, which we both talk macroeconomy, we go head to head. I know you're smart on macroeconomy. I cannot fathom, and I can only assess that you don't connect all of the things together because you will concede. You will say, yes, but this. Oh yeah, but that's only because of this. Oh yeah, but then this. And when I look at it, I say, all of that but this is all intertwined together. You're looking at a house of cards. All you are waiting on is when they cannot kick the can further down the road and when they are ready to let this system implode. What do you think? Why do you think Bitcoin's white paper came out of the 2008 financial crisis needing a better form of money? And then, how can you look at what they're building and the legislative laws and not say, oh my gosh, they might have been planning this from all along? I do not see how you look at the world in front of you, especially with the price appreciation of gold and silver, XRP, digital assets, and how people said we were crazy, what, less than 2 years ago, to saying that this is vital to the future of democracy of the United States, and the United States is going to be the crypto hub of the world. And then for you to come on and say, I don't think any shift is happening. So you negate what's happening in silver and gold and this shift completely?
I mean, precious metals
Explain
have
that
been.
in the no, explain that in the face
It
of
just started
facts.
Well, let him
pumping
rebut.
this
Let him rebut. Go ahead.
just the last year. Prior to that, it was suppressed, and that's largely due to all the geopolitical uncertainty that's happening at the macro level, at the global level.
Yes.
But
Again,
prior to that,
what does that trigger to you?
Are you
What
referring to
happened the
the yield
last
it's
time?
curve?
just
What
Huh?
happened to the last time a macro picture like this set up? It was World War II. And on the back end of World War II, you got the Bretton Woods system. Like the UK fell out of prominence and the United States rose to prominence.
Look at
What
bricks.
are you
Bricks forming
talking about?
is a strong indication of a shift. Why did they come together and they decide to go gold backed? Because the system is shifting. That for me is enough to know that there's a transition happening in itself.
Look,
But there's always something going on geopolitically. There's
let me
always
just
civil
say
unrest.
something,
This is not
please.
anything new.
Let me
Go ahead,
just say
We
something.
could actually
Give
argue
Starks
that
the
what
floor.
took
Look,
Hold on,
place
everybody chill.
is
Give Starks the floor real quick.
Look, here's what I'm seeing, right? Last year, the petrodollar finished, the contract finished with Saudi Arabia, right? That led the dollar not being backed by anything. So now they needed backing. All this stuff going on with Venezuela and the oil is to get some backing for the dollar. Otherwise, the dollar's going to go to crap because they've got nothing to trade it with. Because it used to be the main currency for oil deals all around the world. But that's not the case. So there's no value left in the oil side. So now they're going to find gold, silver, build up a reserve, trade oil, right, to keep your currency up. And I think we may see another incline in the dollar's value before we see another big decline. But there will be a big decline coming soon.
I got a question for everyone here in the panel. Okay. What is the real currency? What is currency really backed by? Does anyone here know?
Yeah, it depends on
It's
what
backed
currency
by
you're looking
debt.
at.
No,
It's backed by
every country
Debt.
globally. What is the true currency? What does everything
Faith,
store?
hope, and trust.
No, if you're talking about countries like Saudi where they have the dinar and Qatar where they use the dinar as well as their own currency, the dinar is based on gold and silver. It's not even based on financial money. It's based on gold and silver.
Is just another store of the value of the true currency.
Yeah,
That
but what I'm
is
trying to
so
say to you,
true.
that is
Everything
what's
else is
being
credit.
used.
With the win, slave labor.
That's the real money.
Labor is the true value. Okay, our
Yep.
time and energy, time over energy equals value. Okay, it's the work that we put in. Okay, and we go to work, we work all day, and then we are given something of value. The true value is the time that we put into something. Okay, and we're seeing the shift happen right now. That people are realizing that I'm putting my time and energy into something with no return.
Wait,
It's
what you
called
mean no
usury.
return?
So that's
It's
the
called
shift.
usury.
It's basically when I say no return is what we're getting in return for our time and energy is overly inflated, backed by either oil or gold, right? But those things are just placeholders. The true value will not be gold or silver. It will be oil because oil produces labor. Labor produces oil. You cannot run a country. You cannot produce energy. You cannot do anything without oil. And I do not see, I know the whole pipe dream is that everything's going electric. I just don't see that sustainably. So what
Not
will
sustainable.
Oil is energy.
Oil
We have
is
other
energy.
sources
So
of
what is
energy
the
as
true
well.
currency?
Electric
The
is not
It's just
sustainable.
oil
true
is cheap and
currency-
efficient.
Right. So the true currency is energy. Right?
That's
the true
true.
currency.
But that's currency. Currency is energy. Sorry. Yeah. go
Right.
ahead.
So currency is energy and the value comes from labor. Energy,
And that's
labor.
that's
Well, I just want to
separating
say
now.
we're
AI
afforded more
hold on.
luxuries today than ever before.
Exactly,
We're
but
able.
also I will hold on. I will say everyone needs to go check out a phenomenal a podcast where the one of the inventors of the AI algorithms talks about how AI is the end of capitalism. It disjoints the nexus, the link to labor versus currency versus energy. And so this shifts us on a completely different paradigm that I don't think the normies are ready for, that I think that the powers that be, they know is coming. And so that's why I think that they've set up, so they will tell you everything that they have planned. Go and look at Agenda 2030 and then go
Agenda
look at where
31.
you're at in
Agenda
oh,
31.
31.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, you're
The WE, is it the
yes.
WEF one?
Yes.
Okay. So you go, so it doesn't have to be conspiracy. Just go and look at that agenda and then go look at the world around you and see if you're getting closer to that world or the world that you knew. What world do you think you're headed towards? The one that's been normal and typical to you? Or do you think something's changing? Do you not feel run up? This is my,
I
I'm
mean, things are
perplexed by
always
you because
changing.
you're so, they're always changing, but these are, this type of things, these things have not happened in my lifetime, in my parents' lifetime. I'm having to educate my parents about their parents' childhood's lifetime. There's something missing. There is a gap here that is so scary to me that I see so clearly 5 freaking years ago that people go, "You're crazy." And all of a sudden, people are so shocked that we're on WW3's doorstep. And
We're
I
not
go,
nowhere
how
near
did we? Are
WW3.
you
Yes, we are.
kidding
We're
me?
in it right
Are
now.
you kidding me?
No, we're
The
not.
history. Okay, hold on. Hit the brakes, everybody. The history books. Okay, when you read them the way it goes, it seems like it's all happening all at once, but these are years that happen in between certain things. Okay, and honestly, I think we are in a civil war in the United States and in World War III right now. When you go, 50, 100 years down the road and the history books talk about right now, they will be listing the things that happened, like the bombing, the bunker busters in Iran will be listed as one of the things that happened in World War III. During World War II, people did not believe that we were in a world war. During the Civil War, I think it was the Battle Kentucky something. People went out. Okay, there was the skirmish between the North and the South, and people went out to have a picnic on the hill, and there was the most horrific battle in history that happened in front of them. And even after that happened, people still didn't believe we were in a civil war. It's not until after the fact that we acknowledge that, hey, this happened.
Hey, it's the same thing in crypto, yeah. We're not in a bear market until we're at the bottom of the bear market.
Exactly, because people refuse to open their eyes and see what is happening right in front of them.
Thank you, Oz. We
Times,
see so many things so differently, but I find it, I love it when Oz and I are so opposed on so many things.
I
And so
okay. Let
I
me
love it when we come together on things,
let me
Oz.
reiterate my position. No one knows my actual position, what I actually believe. A lot of what I say is hyperbolic and designed to get you to think. My whole goal is to create critical thinkers. So I actually am more aligned to what most people or what you believe, Brooke. I just don't put it out there. You know what I mean? But honestly, I think we are more aligned and we see more eye to eye than meets the eye. It's just most people think
That's
that
a
I'm
smart thing to
against them.
do.
Yeah, because that's internet.
Was that a
We have
Transformers
70
then?
people watching right now because that's just how the internet works. There would be 2 people in the panel listening to what I have to say if I didn't say it the right way.
yeah, I will argue that times are more peaceful now than ever before. and that
Oh
we're
my
nowhere
gosh.
near World War
Oh,
Hey,
III.
don't tell that to the
Like,
people of Palestine, bro.
Yeah, bro,
but
no,
that's been
don't
ongoing
tell that to
for
the
a very
Uyghur
long
Muslims
time.
in China. They're
You
harvesting
cannot.
for
I'm
Okay,
wood
there's a
familiar
thing.
with
in
what's
Okay,
here.
listen.
so if we're talking about the Uyghurs in China, that's been going on for a very long time as well. Like this is not anything new. Like nothing changed in the last 5 or 10 years. Like this has been ongoing.
Honestly, I think that
It's a
Honestly, a
what the
lot has
nexus.
world
changed.
is.
A lot has changed,
Like
actually.
the
Everybody,
persecution of the
everybody,
Uyghurs
hold on,
have been going on for over
hold
a
on,
decade.
hold on,
Like organ harvesting
hold
has
on.
been going. All right.
Okay, hear me out. Okay, I think the difference is these atrocities have never stopped happening, and it has always been this way. It's
Yeah.
just now we have access to the information, and we have decentralized media platforms like mine and yours. People don't have to go to CNN to get the news anymore, right? People have access to the information. We see the videos now. It's not just a letter somebody typed out in a newspaper and you have to read it and see one picture. You actually see what happened in transponded. The information is transferred instantaneously. So now we're actually, the veil has been lifted and we're actually seeing what's been happening all along. And that's why I believe we're in a huge major shift, because for the first time in the world, we see everything. Now, when we had TV, that was a big change, but it wasn't like it is now, because everything was controlled and centralized by one, entity, right? Now you have people like me that get up here and can have a show and we can talk about the news, we can talk about issues. We're from all areas all over the world sitting in a panel like we're sitting in one room together having a discussion like we're at the town square. That's the difference, is we're sitting in the pub having the political financial discussion, but it's not centralized to our local area. It's global now.
Yes, I could agree with that. I agree that social media brings a lot of this into the spotlight, and I think that's largely what it is.
Hey,
Because if
Raw
we
Dog,
look
thank you
at
for
the
the
actual
galaxy.
numbers
I want to take a
and the
moment
data,
just to reset the room real quick. We just got a galaxy. Thank you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends, follow all these wonderful people in the panel here, and special thank you to everyone that sent a gift. Don't forget to send in your heart me's, and don't forget to follow the show. Go ahead, run up. 2 galaxies. Holy crap, 2 galaxies. Nice. Thank you guys.
yes, I would say that like this has been ongoing for a very long time. Like what took place in Venezuela is not much different than what happened in Iraq and to what happened with in Libya and what happened in Panama.
So, run up. After you saying what you've just said, do you agree with what's happened in them places? Do you think it was right the way them things were executed? Were right,
I would say
especially Iraq.
I would say no country should dare challenge US dollar supremacy.
You're
Okay, so
paid.
in
You're
that
paid.
respect, then hold
Did
on,
you
bro.
read that? Did you read that off of a script? Hold on.
No, I
Run
didn't
up,
It
read
was like,
any
hold
script.
on.
It's just
No one should. Sorry.
run up. Look, my point that I'm trying to make to you, right, is the way things have escalated in terms of what's going on around the world. Normally, for example, in Iraq, the USA was sanctioned because they just come out of a war, right, and they couldn't go to war. So what did they do? They told Britain to go start the war with the 1% army, and then USA backed them up with 99%, right? What would you call that? Would you say that was a good way to go about something?
I would
Was
say
that abiding by the regulations set by the United States as part of NATO and the world legal system? It had nothing to do with them. They made allegations, gone over there with no evidence, and come back with no evidence, and still you have not been extradited. So that's telling you something. So you could go run around, do whatever you like. Okay, so now let's say Saudi Arabia, yeah, they decide one day we're gonna do what we want to do. We don't care about the dollar no more, right? And you and the countries go to war. There's World War III, and then Saudi comes out on top. Are you still going to be sitting there and saying the best man won, or are you going to be saying we should have won that?
Or are you going to be saying that nothing here is happening? This always
Exactly.
happens.
no, I'm not saying
Exactly.
nothing is
Right.
happening. I'm just saying that it's not nothing new and that it's much better now than it was in the past. Like
Okay.
what's going on in Iran is not much different than what happened during the Arab Spring. When
Okay.
all these
You're not wrong.
Let
I
me
just
back
think
you
you're
up
drawing
real
the
quick,
wrong
Rona.
conclusions at your
no, because y'all are saying we're at
part
the
of
brink of World War
history.
III when like it's much more peaceful now.
When
I mean, if we take Greenland, right? The U.S. has basically said they're either going to make a deal or they're going to take it by force. Greenland is part of NATO. So if we leave NATO and we declare war on NATO, is that not World War III?
I mean, the U.S. is part of NATO,
Right,
and
but
Yeah,
if
but
we
the
take
UK are the ones
Greenland,
that set the regulations for NATO, and now they're breaking them regulations by breaking the peace treaty that was in NATO.
right?
So they've gone back on their own word. So what's that going to make the rest of the countries think? Well, if they can do it to them and they're part of NATO,
Right. The U.S.
what's to
pays
stop
for
us from
NATO.
being next?
So
so I don't
let's
know
talk
what's
about
going to
NATO for
happen.
a second. NATO has only existed since after World War II. It's a short-term thing that has not been around for a long time. It is supported and funded by the U.S. Okay, so the U.S. basically runs NATO. If we decide to pull out of NATO, there is no NATO, and that is highly
thank you,
likely.
Oz.
That is highly likely to happen if we take Denmark and Canada or any of these other countries. Canada has no army. We are Canada's army, the United States. So we've literally been supporting and funding all these different countries where basically it seems like what's going on is we're saying, hey, if you can't take care of yourself and fund yourself, we're going to add a star.
Yeah, so I think this is just all rhetoric by Trump. Because yeah, we capture Maduro and we might install like a puppet regime. But what's going on is we're not colonizing Venezuela.
You
Just like
don't
we're
need to
not going to
colonize it.
colonize.
Hold on,
Just
hold
We're
on,
not going to colonize
hold
we're
on, hold
not.
on,
Greenland or
hold on.
Yeah, hold on,
Canada.
hold on, hold on, hold on.
We're
Did you
not.
hold on? Whoa. Did you not see the Department of Defense and JP Morgan Chase take over the like precious metal smelting market? Like, what do you mean
Yeah,
we're
but
not
the problem
taking
was
over?
Venezuela had shipped all their gold. Did you know before a certain person was kidnapped in his bed, they had moved all the precious minerals from Venezuela to another country through Russia's submarines. You're not
Oh, a
going to hear
thousand
about that.
percent. 1,000%. But you also know that if we take over, so I was in Ecuador, what, 2023, and I was going down the Amazon River, and China and the drug cartels of Ecuador are in cahoots with each other and have been mining gold there for over a decade in cahoots of this. Like, and if you have read, you need to read The Art of War that originates
Yes.
from the Japan from China.
So the Art of War
This
is
is
actually
their
one
long
of the
game.
books that I have in the knowledge
Yes.
section of my Discord. So like we have audiobooks in there for you to read to educate yourself. There's a whole knowledge section. So join the Discord, guys, and educate yourselves. But yes, the art of war. Go on. Sorry.
No. So, no, it's true. So if you've read The Art of War and then you overlap that and you overlay it with what China has been doing, you see that they're following that to a T and they're executing on it to very
100%, bro.
precision. Yeah.
100%. But the thing is, what people don't understand, right, is they're not doing it by choice. They're being forced to do it.
Yeah, so we might exert economic and political influence on our hemisphere, but we're not colonizing these countries.
Maybe not.
No,
Hold
but you're
on.
imposing
Not
We're,
taxes
we're,
on
yet.
them.
Hold on,
Not yet.
Everybody,
Just
let me
wait.
say something. All right. I've been holding back on this one, and perfect segue into this. Okay. So listen, this is how I know we're going into World War III. Okay.
we're not.
Hold on. This is how I know, me personally. And like, we all have our bias, but I'm looking at facts, okay, that point in a certain direction, and we understand the past to predict the future, right? Okay. In 2020, when inflation skyrocketed, they started tapping into the US's oil reserves. And for the last several years, we have not had enough oil to go to war. And the fact that we put Venezuela on the top of our list and took them out, okay, and changed the regime, and it was over oil because we had to replenish those oil reserves. We've taken over oil tankers from Russia. We've taken over oil tankers from Venezuela. Why is that? Because we are replenishing our oil reserves in order to go to war. That's what those
That's
reserves
ridiculous.
are for. Okay? We were literally sitting ducks where we had boats and planes and all this infrastructure that we can't power because we don't have the fuel to do it. Well, now we've
Now
got
we have
fuel.
plenty fuel. We have plenty
Oh
oil
yeah?
in the U.S.
You think
What?
gas prices are high now? If we would have went to war before we had oil reserves, what the price of gas would be if we had to send out our entire Air Force and Navy to go to World War III? You think the price of gas is high now? We have plenty of fuel
Let me
to
just
run our
jump into
country.
this.
Hold on. We have plenty of fuel to run our
We have an
country.
abundance of oil and natural gas.
Not
Like
Can I?
sustainably.
plenty to go to
Not
war.
if we're
Like
at war,
that's
buddy.
just a
No,
ridiculous
let me
argument.
just point out a fact. Let me just point out a fact, right? The period that you're talking about, right, is the same time when the Northern Pipeline was split in two, yeah? Now, what you got to understand, the USA sold their gold to make a quick profit because they know at some point they're going to be able to buy that oil a lot cheaper, right? And that's exactly what they done. They sold the oil, then they blew up the pipeline, so the Europe was dependent on USA oil. They sold them oil at 3 times the price, and now they replenished it with all these things they're capturing for free.
Exactly.
That's what's
No,
going on.
no, but the thing is, we have
That's
so
because
much
we're
oil
preparing to
that
go to
we
war.
export our oil.
No,
That's
the
our
reason
Hold
why
on.
biggest
you
I want
export.
to I want to
Oil
say
and natural
something really
gas,
quick.
which is
Everyone reel it in
I
real
just
quick.
want to say something real
Everyone
quick.
reel it in. Bellstar, take the floor. Welcome to the panel. Go ahead.
Thank you, guys. I want to remind you that you are all technically right. We all have very good, valid opinions. I want to remind you that when OPEC was formed, we capped off all of our oil wells in Texas and Arkansas and all over the United States and the Gulf because we would have had to build so many more refineries and so much more infrastructure in the United States. And plus, it's a military strategic move to deplete your enemy's oil when you can get it cheaper from them than you can here at home. So
Exactly.
I'm going to leave you guys with that. We
And,
have plenty of oil
Francesca,
here.
We just
as
don't have enough
stated in the chat,
refineries.
our oil is too
No,
light. We need
the problem
more
with
oil.
American oil is it's dirty oil, it's heavy oil. It takes twice as much money to refine.
Yes, and that's
all
why
the
we're
oil.
getting it from other places because
Well, the thing is,
they have
Russia
better
Oil
crude.
in
obviously,
Venezuela is even worse.
So the fact of the matter is, and what I was saying is this is an indicator, right? We watch the charts and we use indicators to try to determine where things are going. The indicator that tells me that we are going into a hot war, or at least preparing for it, is the fact that we are replenishing our oil reserves and we are depleting our adversaries. That's the main.
We're not depleting our adversaries. Trump made it clear that he's willing to sell the Venezuelan oil to both Russia and China.
Right.
That's depleting them though, because you're usurping the deal that they originally had via Venezuela that they were using as a proxy. It's important that we took over Venezuela because
That was
Russia and Japan were
no,
using
you
it,
don't
or not
understand
Japan,
the
and
importance of
China were
Venezuela.
using it as a proxy. They were
No,
using Venezuela
That's
as a
true, Brooke.
proxy.
It is.
And
You're
here's the
totally
thing.
right.
Here's where I hold on. Here's where I also know, and here's where I suspect that we are about to redraw regional lines. And here's why I think we actually might be about to colonize South America, which I cannot believe I'm actually saying. Okay? Because look, why else would our NFL, the National Football League of the United States of America, two United States teams go and play an NFL football game in Brazil? So here's what I think is happening. We are exporting our culture in a way, and it always has been, but in a way that when these lines are redrawn in this shift, their culture is our culture, right?
They're
They already play
homogenizing
NFL games here.
the corporations are homogenizing the world. That's what we're seeing.
Yes.
And
Can
it's
Here's
not
the
can I
thing.
even
just add
Here's the thing.
something?
I'm not hold on. I'm not a football fan. I don't follow the NFL. I don't follow any. And so when I walked into my living room and my husband and my son, who also plays football, which I'm like, we'll go sports. I don't know a thing about football, okay? And I look on my screen and I go, wait, this is in Brazil? Aren't those two US teams? And then the next advertisement that I see is Mr. Beast. And then the next advertisement I see is for a movie called Tron. And then I'm like, is anyone else see where this whole, like, we're all going to like, either we are, one or two things are about to happen. Lines are about to be drawn, and two financial systems are going to rise out of the other end of what's about to come. Or one homogenous winner will be homogenous, but one will take it all.
it'll be the
We are at
corporation.
that paradigm.
Can I
Or
just
it
add
could just
something?
be the NFL wants to expand their audience. Because they don't only go
Exactly.
to Brazil,
Because
they go to
when,
other
but here's the
countries too,
thing.
and they're a business.
Exactly. So when they start erasing those lines, it doesn't matter because culturally we've crossed over and we have shared things.
You know,
I
one
This
mean,
is
thing.
very, so like I'm crossing multiple different disciplines, run up. This is called sociology and how to take over a hemisphere.
no,
Right.
that's
Catch up.
what you're talking about is globalism.
Well,
Let me just say something now.
just
Yeah,
say,
you were
hold
talking.
on, Starks, real quick. Let me just say something real quick, and then you can have the floor here. Okay.
Oz, can you adjust your mic volume just a little bit? The panel seems to be a little bit louder than you.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. Oh, let me fix this real quick. There, maybe that'll fix it. Okay. So
Bit more.
bit more. All right.
A bit more.
How's that sound? Is that better?
Not
Good.
better.
All
Not
right.
better.
Okay. So, shit. What were we talking about? So, golly, you guys threw me off. Damn it. We were talking about
Colonialism and oil.
right. Okay, here it is. Okay, So we can all agree that we are having a global financial shift, right? Pretty much. Run up. Can you agree with that?
Run up can't.
No.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like,
Okay.
well, we have
Can
to
we
define it.
agree that there are tariffs being implemented by the United States globally?
Yeah, but this isn't anything new.
Right. But
This
let
is
me
just
just
to
say
address.
something. Can we agree on that? I'm trying to see what we can agree on, right? Okay. Okay. So if there are global implementations of tariffs across the entire world by the world superpower, the United States.
Yeah, but we've always had tariffs on other countries,
Right,
just not
but
at
what
these
we're
high
seeing,
rates.
hold on, but what we're seeing happen because of that are new trade routes being drawn up. We're
Yep.
seeing new border lines come, and what we're seeing is a global shift, not just financially, just completely. The entire everything is resetting, and they're literally calling it the Great Reset. It is happening. Everything is resetting and changing. All right. Hold on. If we look at history, right? History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. Okay. If we look at history and we go back and we see anytime there has been a global shift, it has always resulted in war. Period. So if we are having a global shift, we are going to war. It is going to happen. That's what I'm trying to say. Who was next? You know what? I want to welcome Chillwell and Francesca to the panel. Welcome, you two. Glad to have you guys. Did you guys have anything to say or add to this? Otherwise, I'll leave the floor to Starks, I believe was next. All right. Sounds like you're next, Starks. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, regarding what's going on with Venezuela, yeah, we were on that topic. I've been trying to make this comment, and we've gone to a next topic now as well. But going back to that topic, Venezuela was very important to the United States for two reasons. One, they needed the oil. Two, right, if you remember about 12
You don't need the
months
oil.
No, let me explain. Let me explain, bro.
I will argue.
Give me a sec. Right? Now, the second thing is about 12 months ago.
The refineries, not the oil.
12 months ago, the US tried to buy the China docks in the Panama Canal, and China intervened, saying that it's government property and it's not for sale. So they couldn't get China out that way, so they've had to take over Venezuela so they can take over the docks or use them to their own benefit. Them docks were the key thing in this whole takeover. It had a little bit to do with the oil, but it's mainly to do with them docks. And it started about a year and a half ago when USA wanted to buy them docks from China, from a company in China. So that's why you're seeing Venezuela happen to Venezuela the way it has. Now China has to deal with USA.
Was in Venezuela.
Yeah, I don't think it has.
Hold on. What did you say, Francesca?
The U.S. used to be in Venezuela. Those oil companies used to be there.
ExxonMobil.
This is nothing new under the sun. That's where they used to refine their oil. The Chevron, the BP, all of them.
Yeah,
And they left because they were getting a shit deal. And the other thing is, wait, I'm not finished. Please let me land my plane.
Sure.
The other thing is that the Venezuelan people were getting screwed by Russia and China on those oil deals. So this is not just a United States play. It's also for the Venezuelan people. They are going to get a new person in charge, someone possibly they actually put in place, not somebody who just took over.
No, Trump already says he's going to put one of his people in play over there, so...
Well, that might be a temporary stay until the Venezuelan people are able to put one of their own in place. place.
That's
But
the
if you want to
point.
talk
hold on a
puppet
second.
government,
CCS,
we can talk
I
about
sent you
Obama and Libya.
Just a second, everyone. CCS, I sent you a request to come up on the panel if you'd like to debate. Sounds like Brooke wants to debate you. So if you'd like to come up and say what you have to say. We need to
I
normalize
said
not
for
hate.
months that, yeah,
Hold on. We
sorry.
need to normalize not hating each other for having a difference of opinions. A healthy debate is a good thing to have.
What am I coming up here and debating? Let's make sure we're on the same topic though.
You tell
If we're
me,
gonna be
what
real,
front do you want to debate?
No. No, wait, if you go back and just read the
name it.
comments, you laughed at Run Up. You laughed at him, correct?
I mean, it's
Yeah,
fine.
so defend. So yes,
You
I
laugh.
did.
No, I
So
know.
defend
Run up.
because I
I'm
think
all
it's
of it.
hilarious.
Okay, so
no, I
hold
will.
on.
Yes,
Hold
I
on,
did
hold
laugh
on.
at it because
Hold
I.
on.
That's
No,
where
no,
it's
no.
weird. Because
Let me
there you
stand
go.
on it.
Hold
No,
on,
no, no, no,
everyone.
no, 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 no,
Hold
no,
on.
no.
Let me
CS,
stand on it.
CCS.
Let me
No,
explain.
no, no.
Let
I'll
me
stand on
explain.
it. I'll
It was
stand on
my
it. I'll stand on it. I'll
territory. No.
stand on it. I'll
No. I'm
stand on
gonna
it.
be
No,
like
no,
you.
no, no,
I'm gonna
no,
be
no, no,
like
no,
you. I'm gonna keep
CCS.
talking.
No, 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 no. You're a narcissist.
All right, I had
Go
to
back
rug
under
him.
your bridge.
All right. I tried.
Oh, Evans, you invite the angry man up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I
Very
think
angry man.
like what took place in Venezuela has less to do with oil than it had to do with the petrodollar. Because Venezuela was talking about, or Maduro was talking about, selling their oil. I forgot to going away from the petrodollar and selling their oil in another currency. I don't know which currency it was, whether it was the ruble or the yuan, one of the two. But I think that's the reason why we had to step in, and it probably was the yuan because we did capture Maduro when they sent the the Chinese special envoy to Venezuela.
I just want to take a second here and address to the chat. I will give anyone a platform to speak. If you want to, whatever, you say your piece or whatever, but if you come on to my live and you're just going to make noise and nonsense, you're gone. Sorry, that's just what it is. I tried to give him the opportunity to speak, and all I heard was, no. We're not going to be doing that here, okay? So, just is what it is, but have respect for each other. And Brooke, try to let him speak. All right.
He just wants a debate. He
No.
doesn't want a fair one. And yes, Run Up, I did laugh at you. And because it's obvious, but like it's obvious. And here's the thing. It is very, yes, and I will stand on it. I did laugh because like historically, looking back, macroeconomics wise, the patterns are extremely clear to me. That's fine. That it is amusing and it is comical to me that people don't see it, and I'm fine with that. Now, here's the difference. He wants to stay in the comments and troll it, and then when he comes in here, he doesn't want to hear me out. And then whenever I say I will stand on it, I will tell you why. Now tell me. Now defend why what I will defend why I laughed. I will defend my facts. I have them. Come up here and discuss them with me or stay down in the like underneath your bridge troll. Seriously, it's clear what you're trying to do. It's not cool, and I'm done with it. Narcissists like you will not have your say with me. So stay under your freaking bridge. Understand?
All right, let's move on. So we're talking about oil, macroeconomics. Let's keep it on topic.
Yeah, and I
Go ahead.
yeah, I could agree that precious metals rise during times of geopolitical uncertainty and also during times of currency debasement and inflation. But is that a guaranteed sign that we will enter some type of war? I would say not necessarily. But like I could see the correlation and like it does make sense.
Yeah.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Generally,
Hey,
generally,
let's,
gold and silver goes
hold
up
on.
when war
Hold on.
starts. or has started, not before.
Dolo David, welcome to the panel, bro. What do you
Yo,
got
what's
to say?
good? How's everybody doing? So, the Pentagon just basically printed or withdrew, got about $1 billion from the Federal Reserve. What was it, a few days ago? So
They
usually
ordered
when
a
they
bunch
do
of
things,
pizza too.
yes. So usually when they do something like this, that's in preparation for some type of small WAR or some type of altercation to go on from a retaliating country. So I wouldn't completely leave that out of the conversation. That is definitely a high possibility something could happen. Now I wouldn't say it would be devastating to points of which we would have some type of ripple effects from it. Besides, possibly the market going down for a bit. But I do want to, keep that in mind that the Pentagon did just do that. So they typically only do that when something is about to happen.
Yeah, in my opinion, from what I see, I see the writing on the wall that we are, honestly, I think we're already in World War III. These are just the pre-steps that add up to it, like I said earlier, the history books will write about World War III, and all this will be a part of it.
That W word, you gotta use TikTok friendly. You gotta spell it out or something. They'll crash live for that.
I don't care. I'm at this point where, honestly, TikTok has changed a lot too with the algorithm and stuff. Because it's in the US. I'm not really too worried about TikTok anymore because we are multi-streaming on multiple platforms. So if TikTok gets crashed, then I'll see y'all on YouTube or Twitch or Abstract.
Hey guys, I'd just like to point out on the subject of TikTok, right? If you haven't already guessed it, I'm Asian by origin, and I've got friends in Palestine and in Iran, and these guys used to broadcast like what's going on, and I used to watch their lives. Their lives don't come up no more.
Yeah, I mean, I think the U.S. has an agenda, for sure. But
it's not the U.S. It's not the U.S.
Maybe it's China. Whoever has control obviously has an agenda. That I'm fed up with TT. We love TikTok Shop.
Who took over TikTok in the last 6 months when the algorithm changed?
Oracle, right?
Yes, and who's Oracle? Where does Oracle originate from?
I don't know. You tell me.
Have a look. I'm not going to tell you yet. That's something for you to work out yourself, yeah? And then you'll understand why all of these things are happening.
Is it the
I believe
juice
it's
box?
OpenAI, isn't it?
The juice box emoji?
I think Sam Altman has something to do with that, right?
Yeah. TikTok seller
let's
says
just say
it's in the chat.
Begins with I. It begins with I.
Yeah. The juice box.
Yeah.
Juice box emoji.
But, I mean, look, we're seeing this. I used to come on live. I used to have 50, 60 people on my live, yeah? Ever since this scenario took place about 6 months ago, I've stopped going live because every time I'm coming up, I'm getting violations. I'm getting shadow banned all the time. And I've just had enough with it. That's why I come on to other people. I'm more than happy to discuss my information and whatnot. But, I'm not going to try and set up a social media to promote what I know and stuff because it's just not going to work.
Yeah. I'm probably going
What's
to
up,
be
y'all?
getting off here. Hey, AI, it's good to see you.
Hey,
I'm
Brooke,
probably going to be
Hey,
getting
Brooke,
off
how
here
you
coming
doing?
in
up,
a
Brooke,
few.
and I appreciate
How you
having
doing, sweetheart? Everybody, hello. I'm just
Brooke,
stepping in
hold
to
on real
agree
quick.
with Muhammad real quick and say that I don't
Let me
care about
reset the
being
room
banned
real
at
quick
all.
before you go.
So
Brooke, thank you for coming up. You're always welcome here, and I appreciate the push and pull that we have. You're always welcome. And
Sorry for getting fiery. It's
nah,
just like
it
that's a
happens.
long time like thing, and it's one of those things. I'm fine with debate. I love debate.
Me too.
I love it, and I can stand on it. But there's productive debate, and then there's not productive debate. There's people who are committed to misunderstanding you, and that's what I'm not here for. So I love debate because people learn. It's just the
You know,
intention behind it, and so I do call out intention. But other than that, thank you. I'm sorry, I get hot now,
if you
and
don't
I
mind me
so all
asking,
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
was
Go for it.
what was the debate topic? What was it about?
I laughed at Run Up because Run Up and I talk about macro econ all the time. And we both agree on so much. He's like, yeah, but that is happening. And so I attribute it to a much bigger shift that's happening in history and for us. And
Yeah.
Run Up takes the position that nothing interesting has happened and these things
Oh
always
yeah.
happen. And
Yeah,
so like
yeah, yeah.
there's nothing special about this time where I firmly believe everything that we're seeing is a shift in the things that we're
Yeah.
feeling it because and I study history, so I draw on history and macroeconomics and cycles to understand where we're at today. And I know it's not a one for one comparison because it's so different, but yet I there is nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing just to a different extent.
Brooke, have you
And
Right,
heard
right.
of the
so
fourth turning?
Yeah,
yes.
that's funny. That's funny because my first interaction with Run Up, it was the same type of debate. I was like, hey, none of this stuff is random, man. This is just some run of the mill stuff. This is a big thing
You,
going on. So
you want to
it's
talk
funny you
about
say
Yeah.
that.
hopium. You want to talk about hopium. Run Up is the biggest hopium for the status quo that I know.
Run Up has the
I mean, I
most
Everything.
think,
optimism ever.
yeah, I mean, I
The
think,
first thing the first thing he said to me was, "What are you gonna do if this doesn't work out?" I was like, "What the fuck? I'm gonna carry on with my life."
Run
listen,
Up,
I
I've
by the
said
think,
it
way,
pretty
I have a
good.
folder. Run Up, I have a folder that I've been accumulating, and it has all of the recent random acts of violence on people to counter your debate on how things are super great right now.
Well,
And
let
yeah,
we're
me
safer
I'm
than
not
ever.
saying it's great now. I'm just saying that it's much better than before.
I don't,
oh,
I will
again,
I'll tell you.
admit,
I would
I'm
love to
going
counter
through
that
this shift
argument.
We
with
had the
air
biggest
conditioning.
single year
Everyone.
I
drop
love
in.
no, I love this shift. I love going through this shift with air conditioning. You're
Yeah.
right. Like
So
we're
every
all
let me just say
Cameron.
something.
That's good. That's a
And I
good one.
kind of said this before, okay, is that the difference is we know it's happening. It's always been happening. Run Up is right. It's business as usual. This is all the same shit that always happens. It's just we're informed of it. The difference is now that we're informed of it, things are changing because we actually get that information. That's why I think a shift is actually finally happening, a huge shift, because it's not just happening in the background, it's being broadcasted on your phone that sits in your back pocket and you have instant access to it. That's the difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I completely agree with you, Oz.
You're both
Have you
right.
guys
You're
heard about
both
the
right.
revelation?
It's just more visible now.
Yeah.
Run
Hey,
Up, I
us.
appreciate
And
you
that's
Yeah.
because
why the
I can have these discussions. I say this. I just before I get off, I just want to say I really appreciate Run Up because he is so optimistic. And I'm going like, oh my
Nah,
gosh.
I'm just looking at the numbers.
yeah.
If I want to say, Brooke is super smart and knowledgeable, and she does make some excellent points, it's just sometimes we might not agree on the conclusions.
So
That
you basically Run Up.
Exactly.
You don't believe in the whole 2030 theory of your own nothing and be happy. You're not really a proponent of that.
The Great Reset, Agenda
Yeah.
I don't
31.
know. He said a few things about UBI and stuff and smart cities where I think he's a little closer to that thought than we might give him credit for.
He's in denial. That's the first stage.
He's waking up slowly but surely. The vaccine's wearing off, is what I call
oh my god.
That's a sore
I
topic.
personally
Don't
think
bring that one
vaccines are
up.
great, and that
Ah, here we
mRNA
go.
vaccines are
a major breakthrough.
Absolutely
we were
not.
able to
The
eradicate
creator of them, the
polio,
creator of
Dude, I
them
get sick every
himself
time I get a
like we
vaccine.
were
said not to get injected by them. But I was going to say, is there a possibility, right, to what Oz was saying about the Great Awakening aspect and what kind of Run-Up was saying about the visibility aspect, if they're all connected to what Muhammad was saying about that problematic little country out there in the Middle East, right? Because I think part of the aspect that we're all seeing now, the visibility, right? They had conferences on this. You know, I have no problem getting bananaed on this for whatever I say now because I'm rarely on here anymore, but I'll talk in code so I don't affect Oz's stream or anything like that. But the reality is like about visibility, about their growing number of people that are leaving their victimizing headspace, this mentality, right, and are kind of shifting to what we're seeing now is almost like an America first, or specific countries first, versus giving all of this support and funding and aspects of that. And a lot of the tech companies, right, are owned conglomerates. In the industry stuff is owned and operated kind of in their sector, and they're this is notable, this is quotable by their own mouths as well. And I'm kind of wondering, is that part of the shift of this Great Awakening? We're all kind of seeing that there's a lot less differences in not only color but culturism, in all of these noble aspects, and we're kind of all realizing like who is kind of putting us against each other a lot of the time, and especially behind the scenes. That'd be my 2 cents on this. I wonder if they're all kind of hand in hand.
I feel like
I think the
everyone's
world.
right. I think everyone is right. It's just we're not zoomed out and looking at the full picture of it. So it seems like we're bifurcated when we're really not.
Yeah, I mean the world is more unified now than ever before.
Yeah, but the problem is, Run-Up, everything's a department. You go to the sales team and you ask for technical support. They're going to send you to another department. They're not going to say, we can help you with that. They're going to send you to another department. And the other department never knows what the first department does. And the first department doesn't know exactly what the second department does. And that's the problem. Nothing is unified in the business sense, but we're trying to claim it as unified in a government sense, and that don't make sense because you've got corporations like the 3-letter people, right, that are doing things behind the scene.
I believe that the government is compartmentalized, but the corporations are all on the same page, and the corporations are the real ones doing the conducting and the manipulation of everything. And we can talk about certain individuals, the juice boxes, being in control, but it's the juice boxes control a lot of the corporations, but they're all working together in unison. It's all one big orchestrated plan. It's one of two things. It's either just completely random or it's all perfectly orchestrated. And I would say that Occam's razor would suggest that it's not orchestrated, that it's just randomly happening.
I would say that Stanley Kubrick would say that it's orchestrated.
and real quick, to kind of piggyback off of you saying like everybody's kind of having to go to their homeland. I'm not a Christian per se, but I do like to look into the Bible for like it has a good reference points, things of that nature. And in Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 8 through 9, it does specifically state like God will collect all the people from each end of the world and from Israel, and they'll all be sent back to their homelands on a decent trip back on the waters. And so it basically does state like before the shift, something of this line along this lines of people having to go back to their designated homeland would take place. So I do find that interesting.
Not only that, man. In the book of Revelations, it also says about the kind of talks of of global conflicts and stuff like that. It also says, I forget in which book it does mention this, but that the juice boxes of this current time aren't the exact lineage from their time. The fault they came from Abraham or you know, there's a distinction between, you know, who they were then and who they are now, not only in religion down to the manuscripts, but in their ideology with where they move forward from that. So I think that's what's an interesting distinction as well. Like, this is not the same biblical references, because this entire culture, which again is more like a corporation, like kind of what Oz is saying, like they're more of like an industry almost, but like it's vastly different than what they're claiming to be trying to protect.
And to all the hold on real quick. And to all the non-believers, the people that don't believe in the Bible that are here listening to this, one thing that you have to understand is that you may not believe in these things, but there are people and men with power who do believe it, and they are making choices and decisions that influence the entire world based upon that book. So whether it's real or not, it's still affecting everything that's happening right now. It's like a blueprint.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I always say that.
Can I just add something quickly?
I always kind of say that, like.
Let me just reset the room real quick. Let me reset the room. Everybody smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends, follow me on all platforms at Ozthecryptogoat. Join the Discord link in my bio. Become a super fan, become a subscriber with your subscription. You can get one-on-one coaching with me and with the super fan as well. I do all that through the Discord. I also teach technical analysis, macroeconomics, and strategy or trading strategy class as well. Crypto Rap, what's up? Welcome to the discussion. Glad to have you, brother. How you doing?
I'm so fucking busy today, bro. I'm so busy. There's not enough hours in the day right now, but I'm doing well besides that.
Hey, glad to have you, bro. I don't know if you had anything to talk about on the subject or not. If not, you can just sit in the panel, whatever.
I just came to show up pretty much, but God is good every day. God bless you all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just working on this picture of a fucking anime girl right now.
Nice. Dude, I got an anime coin I want to work on with you, bro. I got a good one.
I bet. Hell yeah.
All right. Back to the subject. We were talking about whether you believe in the Bible or not.
I think Muhammad was trying to get a word in too at the end there.
Yeah, what's up, Muhammad? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, you were mentioning. I mean, I'm Muslim, right? You know, and you guys are talking about the Bible, and guess what? The same stuff's written in my Bible as well. So,
exactly.
Touche. Now, the other part is for the people that don't believe that this is religious implications in what's going on around the world at the moment. I suggest you search red heifers.
Yes.
I'm sure you've heard on the news something about red heifers, right?
Yeah.
And if you do the research, you'll see who's behind it and what they're planning to do.
And you know what's crazy is for like what has been like 1,000 years, there's been, you know, Jewish and Muslim farmers that have been raising heifers just to raise the red heifer. Just to
well,
find it.
they had, I believe, about 7 months ago, they had 2 red heifers imported from United States.
Yeah, from Texas. They spent millions on them too.
Hold on.
Real.
What is a red heifer? I'm sorry. What's a red heifer?
It's a sacrificial entity for them at a certain. I don't want to butcher it, but it's in an unsavory context. They're gonna sacrifice it.
It's a cow.
Sacrifice 10 red cows of no blemish or disabilities or anything. They have to be perfect. They're going to do 10 on holy Islamic ground before the prophecy of the Antichrist comes about. And this is not the jukebox that's the problem. It's the other Z box that's the problem.
Yeah. And what's interesting about that, right? What I'm finding, like the correlation currently, I'm seeing it here in fucking Oklahoma, right? But we have like
Christians and people in the Bible Belt area, they're very focused in the news. They're very focused in the headlines. They're propping up this Minnesota stuff. They're very much focusing on the fact and the differences between Islamic and Christian. When in fact, I mean, there are differences, don't get me wrong, and everyone's entitled to their beliefs, you know, but I will say there is more correlation or you know, there's more things that are closer together in the two than there are differences. You know, there are some fundamental differences, I will say that.
You know what the funny thing is, AI? Right, the Bible and the Quran, yeah, if you go by the classic Old Testament that's locked away in the Vatican, yeah, it's almost identical to the Quran.
They are
It's
very
only
similar.
the new ones that were made after, where things have been changed, verses have been taken out, verses have been put in. They're the ones that have got a problem.
And the
But,
Now, outside of that, though,
yeah.
right? The whole connection, though, that I'm seeing is that they're highlighting that to kind of distract you from the macro issues, right? The actual tensions, the genocide, the, you know, raiding of this era, the, you know, the not release of, like, they're doing things
justification for the raids. That's
well,
all it is.
now it's coming out that people in the IDF have been, you know, found that they are members of ISIS, like high-ranking member official. Like, they're connected in every kind of way. So when you have people that are not only controlling the money, calling the shots, sparking the ignition between the feuds, and they're members of both sides, but they're still telling you to, like, turn around and fight your neighbor. Like, that's the part where I'm like, I think that awakening aspect is coming a lot quicker, because we're all realizing, like, this is fucking stupid. We're tired of the violence.
Yeah.
We're tired of all of the stuff, and we're coming together in a like what Run Up was saying, with more visibility, with more transparency. So I think
Host, real quick.
I think that's pretty interesting.
Sorry, host, real quick, because I like the conversation. You might want to tell your listeners to spam F1 in the comments so it doesn't get crashed.
F1 in the comments. I think we're good, honestly. I'm not too worried about it. One thing I do want to say, though, you know, all of us here, you know, we come from different beliefs, different backgrounds, but we can all agree that there are similarities in these writings and texts that are ancient. And, you know, I feel like over time, things are lost in translation. Obviously, the Bible was originally written in Aramaic. You can't even understand what it says unless you can speak Greek and Aramaic. And, you know, in the Quran, you know, you need to be, it's Aramaic as well, I believe. There's something that's been lost in translation there that we don't quite understand. And then there's also the fact that, there is, over time, there has been adding to and removing from these ancient texts. So we don't have a clear picture biblically. And so we can, you know, sit here and fight back and forth of this and that and whatever. But what we can do is we can come together on the similarities, and we can see that there's obviously something at play here, whether it's, like I said, whether you believe it or not. There are people that do, and, you know, coming together and seeing those similarities and seeing that it's all pointing in the same direction can help you to have a better picture of what's to come. And so anyone here that is religious or biblical or spiritual in any way, that has read the Bible or read the Quran or read the Tanakh or the Torah, I've actually read all of them. And you know, there are a lot of things that line up. And I think if we focus on those things, we can actually see the direction we're headed. Anyone?
I always find it interesting because we kind of tend to blame damn near everything on the Jewish people or whatever, you know what I want to say. But with that, wouldn't we suspect that they would have gotten their hands onto those books, kind of manipulated them? Well, I always kind of keep that in the back of my mind. Like, that's true, then why would, the other stories also not be conflated already?
Yeah, we can't be so dogmatic when it comes to religion. I don't go to church, but I'm educated in, theology and multiple theologies, not just, Christianity, um, and so on and so forth. Like I, I want to know the information that's out there. But like, we were saying is that, there's obviously something, these are thousands of years old, this information that we have, and we're seeing it kind of play out. The question we should be asking ourselves is it playing out because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, or is it playing out because it's real, right? I lean towards the fact that I think it's real. I think things are happening. And maybe that comes from a sense of fear that I don't want to be left out, or I don't want to be wrong, because the consequences for being wrong seem like they're pretty drastic. At the same time, what do you believe nowadays? There's just so much out there. What do you
I got
do?
a question for you, Oz.
Yeah.
What was the devil's biggest accomplishment?
Accomplishment?
Yeah. What was his biggest accomplishment?
I'm stumped.
He gave Eve the apple.
I know what it is.
No.
Let me say it, because I think I know what it is.
His biggest... Go on,
His
then.
biggest
Go for it.
accomplishment, it was getting the world to believe that God wasn't real, or that he wasn't real.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 100%.
Right.
And
Now,
look at two people from two different religious backgrounds can agree on that.
Yeah, well, look, here's the thing now, yeah? If we look what's going on there, and now we have a look at what's going on in government and everything else, it all falls under the same category. For example, we have the president and everyone that are supposed to be in control, but there are other entities behind the scenes that we never see, we don't know exist, exactly the
Illuminati.
same way as what's been prophesied for the best accomplishment. So you gotta understand, like, okay, so if the Bible's saying this, how does this correlate with the real world? And a lot of people can't see the correlation, but if you look into it deep enough, you see the correlation. And once you see the correlation, you can't unsee it.
Yeah. And I would say the consensus in the chat, most of the people have some type of agreement or knowledge that these things are happening. Whether they're real or not, they're happening. And basically these biblical texts, I'm trying to use proper language because this is a unbiased thing, because we all come from different backgrounds and beliefs. But, we're seeing things play out. We're seeing things happen, and it's the playbook, right? Whether, like and I can't say this enough, whether you believe it to be true or not, you need to understand the fact that these things are happening, whether you like it or not, whether it's based on the fact that they're real or it's correlation equals causation.
Hey, I've got a question for you. I've got another question for you. Well, everyone here, has anyone seen the original Ghostbusters movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah, with Dan Aykroyd and what's his name, the other guy?
Bill Murray. I actually met Bill Murray at...
Bill Murray, yeah.
I met Bill Murray and Stevie Wonder and Santana. We were hanging out backstage at Crypto Arena.
Ah, nice. Right. Anyway, the point of why I'm mentioning this film, right, is when the ghosts first start appearing, right, they have a device that gives them a PK reading of how much ghost entity there is in the world, right? And they go into the library and they come in front of a ghost and it goes off the charts, yeah, and the both things go standing up, beep, 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 beep. Yeah, they get scared, they run out. Later on in the movie, they're talking about the same energy, right? And he goes, imagine that energy was the size of a Twinkie, but now that Twinkie is the size of a bus, right? And he's trying to explain how fast the supernatural things are occurring now compared to what they were a few months ago.
It's an accelerated timeline.
It compounds, and that's exactly what we're seeing now.
And
right?
I think that's the correlation.
What's going on around the world, an accelerated time frame.
And I think that's the correlation with AI. AI exponentially is speeding all of these things up. And you know, in the Revelation, it says that you'll know the end times because knowledge will be God, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it basically says that knowledge will be exponential or whatever. I can't quote it here, but
yeah, even if you think about it astrologically, you know, we just got out of the year of Aquarius, right? And now we're so with that, it's supposedly supposed to be a spiritual awakening. People are having more debates. Just basically, if you look into what the astrological meaning of the year of Pisces, it kind of lines up with what's being talked about right now.
And you know what? For all the naysayers and non-believers out there, there's definitely something happening out there that can't be explained, because I have seen with my own two eyes. We've been so we had the Down the Rabbit Hole show. We were doing some ghost hunting. I have like a spirit box right here. And I'm going to post that video. I keep saying that I'm going to do it. We got hard. Like, I've seen the Ghost Hunters stuff on Netflix or whatever. It's never, I'm always like, nah, that's trash. I'm not going for it. Right. We got hard evidence with this one. Okay. And I've seen, there's a lot of activity here at this compound that we have here. I've literally seen things get thrown across the room. I've seen entities and things. This place was built in the 1940s. There's activity. Something exists beyond our understanding and comprehension.
I can explain it to you. I haven't experienced it myself, but I know what you're talking about, and I can explain it to you.
And like I said, this is a fact-based show. I have no reason to lie to you guys. I'm here to give you the facts. If you join the Discord, I'll post the Spirit Box video in the Discord. And but I'm telling you right now, I've seen it with my own two eyes. It's real.
If I say to you, right, how many beings are living, how many entities are on Earth, what would your answer be?
Entities? Gosh, I would say
like
it's innumerable.
Humans and so forth. Like, you know, you got humans. Is there another entity like humans?
Like humans? I mean, yeah, I believe you want to jump down the rabbit hole with me, man. You got to get in the Discord. We have down the rabbit hole section where we debate and talk about all these things. Join the Discord link in my bio, guys. But honestly, I think that there are multiple entities, if not innumerable.
What's up, Oz? I don't want to cut you off here, Starks.
I'm sorry, I forgot to
say what's up.
I forgot to introduce you, man. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I've been trying to figure out where to put myself in this conversation because, you know, sometimes I say too much. So, you know, you guys are running from religion over to ghosts, and which all wraps around in the same thing. I believe it's all energy with multiple dimension. That's where I kind of land with it, with religion, circle back to that.
Close.
I
You're
don't
close.
practice, I don't preach, I don't anything, because the most people we've lost in the world over how many thousands of years are what? Because of beliefs. And that's still happening right now. Why don't you just believe in people and be a good person? Why do you have to believe in a written scripture that could have been written over and over and over again to lean one way? Just be a good person to everybody. That's just like politics. It's just like everything. It's hard for me to get on board with that side of things when that's the biggest beef in the world, right?
Yeah. And I think what we need to understand, hold on. I think what we need to understand here is the Bible, religion, ghost, paranormal activity, all of it, science, it all kind of, it all correlates together. It's all connected in a certain way. And what we are doing is we are trying to put names and labels on things that we don't understand or know what they are or can even begin to fathom with our brains. And we're too busy focused on arguing over the names of things than acknowledging the fact that something is there, that we do exist, that it does exist. And we're getting too caught up on, oh, I know what's right, or I know what's right because I read this or I did that. The fact of the matter is there's obviously something, and we can agree on that. And those of you that can't agree on it because you've never experienced that, I would ask you to speak to God or whatever you want to call its name, God, Allah, Jesus, Yeshua, Yahweh. Pick your name. Quit arguing over the names of these things. They're just a definition we gave to something that we don't understand. But I would ask for you to pray or talk to that voice inside your head or whatever the definition is that you call it, and ask it to reveal itself to you, and it will. That's how I have been able to have the encounters that I've had.
Can I just say my 2 cents worth now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, first question then, we were talking about how many entities. There's 2 types of entities on this planet. There's humans and then there's jinn. Right? Now, how do we know there's 2? Because the devil, where did he come from? He was a jinn. He was God's favorite at one point, right? And if you look at his origin, they were here before humans were here, right? So we've got 2 entities we're not supposed to mix, but some of the entities, they like to cross over and cause problems, and that's what we refer to as ghosts and possessions.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we just are focused too much on the name, and
yeah,
we're giving the same things different names, and that's all we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know the origin of these things as well, because we see phenomenal things on TV and AI stuff and whatnot, yeah, right? But these days, you can't tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah. And especially with AI now, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and that falls under the same category as best accomplishment. He don't exist.
I think that's the easy cop-out answer, that it doesn't exist. Just because you haven't experienced something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Have you...
No, I meant like the devil's accomplishment was, best accomplishment was, to convince the world that he don't exist.
Yes, and I think
right.
you're
and
right.
Now in AI, we're seeing the same thing because we can't tell reality between unreality, virtual reality. So again, you're falling into that category where does it exist or doesn't it exist?
Yeah, and if you really think about it, like with AI and the stuff that's coming out, right? it's actually AI has been used in the court and deemed as valid evidence. So that's a scary time we live in, where you can literally post, and this was a big deal. This was the Kyle Rittenhouse case. The image that was used to basically exonerate him was an AI image. Now, it was AI enhanced, but it wasn't the raw image. And that's the issue, is an AI enhanced image should not have been able to be admissible in court. However, it was, and therefore we have set the groundwork of basically AI imaging being used in court. And also we're seeing it in political campaigns. We saw what's his name? The guy in Florida when he was running for president. What's his name? Somebody help me out in the chat. Chat, help me out. Who was the guy that was running for president? The governor of Florida?
DeSantis?
John DeSantis used AI images of Donald Trump hugging and kissing Fauci. And, that was permittable. And it was even put like there, it wasn't like they used it and put it out as though, oh, this is fake imaging AI. No, they used deceptive wording to make it seem like it actually happened. And even if it didn't happen, there are a bunch of little old ladies, people out there that see that, and they don't even know. I mean, literally, there are so many people that do not, they don't notice what's AI. I mean, look at the Goat Tribe album. We've been listening here. This is AI. You can't tell.
This is a problem. This is a problem now, innit? Over in the UK now, you're talking about AI and stuff and whatnot. Over in the UK, they want to ban Twitter.
Yeah.
Not Twitter, X.
Yeah. Because it's a free speech platform-ish.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially the UK. The UK, man, is becoming dystopian much faster than the US. I would say the US is definitely becoming dystopian. I think the entire world is becoming dystopian. And that's what we're saying. They want you to live in the pod and eat the bugs. They want to have control of your money and how you spend it and where you can spend it and what you can spend it on. We are marching in lockstep. I wouldn't even say marching. We are running full speed towards full control and manipulation over everything. And everyone is just cheering it on because they want their bags to pump, or they want whatever it is that they want to see, or because they hate someone else, another group. They're cheering it on.
But that's what crypto is, bro. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it's doing.
It's the usher to
and
the march.
The thing is that I've come to an agreement with myself, right? Because this thing's going to happen whether you like it or not. So where would you like to be? Would you like to be at the bottom of the chain or as far above the chain as you can get?
Exactly. And that's what I tell people is like, use this opportunity to enrich yourself, isolate yourself, create a bubble, but eventually it's going to come to your doorstep no matter how much money you have. And one thing that they do say, it is harder, or this is in the Bible, the Christian version of it. It is easier to fit a camel through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom. Okay. And that is very true. Get the money, chat, but God will not let you have that money if you cannot not let it change you.
Do you know what the actual meaning of that is?
What is that? Tell me.
You know why the rich man has it so hard to go through the eye of the needle, like a camel going through the eye of a needle?
Explain it to me.
Because the whole purpose of wealth, right? If I'm wealthy, I want my community to be wealthy. Right, so I'm supposed to be looking after my community. If I'm a multi-billionaire, right, and the people around me ain't even got the houses and they're rented from me and whatnot, right, I should be helping them out in a way where they can make money and stuff. I should be helping them out financially if they need it to buy their own homes and stuff. But none of that happens because in this era, right, it's all about I need to be more wealthier than the person sitting across the table from me.
Yeah. And you know,
so you never get that
somewhere-
wealth transfer to the middle class or the lower class.
You know,
But
somewhere
that's been
along
forever, right? That's
Yeah.
not the last 100 years. That's going back thousands of years. It's always been that way.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When a certain family owned the entire oil industry, right, they had to be split up into 12 sections all around the world. Right, so they made a vow that they're going to screw over everyone in the economy, and I think they're accomplishing their goal.
Yeah, you know, if you've ever read the book Behold a Pale Horse, I would encourage you to read it. It's in the knowledge section in my Discord audiobook for you guys to listen to. It is a blueprint of not only how this is happening, but it literally lists all the different types of laws and legislation that's been written over the last several decades that have moved us in this march towards tyranny. Everyone, I implore you, read or listen to the audiobook Behold a Pale Horse by William H. Cooper, and it's going to map out everything we're talking about. This is why I know that crypto is going to be mass adopted. This is why I know and believe all the things that I say is based off of this book. You guys have to read it. I know it sounds biblical because it's, you know, Behold a Pale Horse is Revelations 6 chapter 5, I believe. But it's really not that. This is a guy that was, I want to say he was MI6 or naval. He was naval intelligence, right? And very, very smart guy. The guy literally predicted not only how he would die, but where, and that he would be assassinated, and it happened. And it amazing story. Definitely check it out, guys. The Discord link is in my bio. Join the Discord. Smash that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Share the show with your friends. Follow me on all platforms at Ozthecryptogoat, the #1 live stream on Abstract for 7 days in a row. Let's go. But yeah, back to what we were talking. Just need to reset the room there.
Yeah, should we get back to crypto?
Honestly, I'm cool with it. I never wanted to do a crypto show. I had a podcast before this and I never could get any traction or get any viewership. And so I started doing crypto, obviously, because I wanted to help people. And I saw a void that needed to be filled in the space. But the idea was to get your attention with your wallet to talk about what really matters.
I see. Clever tactics. Well done.
And that's why
I like the fact we can talk about anything here.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be about crypto. I keep the crypto up and the chart with the XRP thing. It's about engagement. It's about getting you in here. If I have any other thing on the screen, engagement drops. But I put this picture up and we're good. Because that's what people want.
I can't talk crypto all day long either, Oz. I need to expand my brain. And Chillwell was saying the same thing about an hour ago, you know?
Yeah, and it seems like everybody in the crypto space gets just so locked in that they get locked up. And that's
And I love to talk to Brooke about other things other than just economics sometimes when I get the chance.
Absolutely. Brooke, thank you for the hand hearts to everyone. Much appreciated. Guys, don't forget to send in your daily heart me. Send gifts if you can. If you can't send a gift, just hit the like button. You don't necessarily have to send money to help support. But if you do, or you like what we do and you really want to give, we also, in the link in my bio, we have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. You can just give directly to the show. And all that goes to pay for all the infrastructure here. I have the IT guy here, and I want to get back to where we're making money again, and it looks like we're starting to get the algorithm going and doing it again. I want to bring Jesse back on the show, but I can't afford to basically bleed out thousands of dollars a month to make maybe $100. I just can't. It became unsustainable. And it was all supported. We're PBS. We're supported by viewers like you. So donations go a long way because 100% of that comes to supporting the show and the people that work here. I don't take it. Okay. It goes to paying everyone else here. And also, it's not taxable because it's a donation. So best way to give. Otherwise, but right now we're trying to boot the algorithm. So send it here, let TikTok get their cut. But I do appreciate what you guys have done for this show. And just know I've invested a lot into doing this. I don't ever expect to really see a return. Maybe one day we'll see. My main focus and goal is to employ people and help them to get them in a place where they can be financially free, and also to spread knowledge, wisdom, truth, and also to create critical thinkers. I want you guys to start using your brains, question everything. William H. Cooper, the guy who wrote Behold a Pale Horse, one of his famous quotes was, "Listen to everything but believe nothing." And that's the idea here, is to question everything. Don't just take something at face value. Dig into it. That's why we have a fact checker for the show, is because we don't want to just listen to what AI or Google tells us. We want to dig into it. And I don't have the time to do all this and dig into it. So I really believe that Jesse is one of the most important things to have on the show, because I had originally started by using AI, and I realized that we were not getting factual information out that way.
Oh, can I give a little bit of heads up to people?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, electronics are going through the roof. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Computer components are going through the roof. Right. If you're in the market for a new computer, yeah, I think this is probably going to be the best time to buy. Otherwise, you're going to have to end up waiting about 3 years. Because I think the prices are about to triple on everything.
I bought all this equipment, I think back in February or March. And I was going to wait and do it slowly over time. And I was like, no, I pulled the trigger. I dropped 15 grand on building all this, not just the electronics, but also the building materials to build the studio. And now just the electronics alone used are worth more than double than what I paid for them. And it's good equipment.
Yeah, and you know what? In 2 years' time, they're going to be worth a lot more.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's going right now on the computer sector side, right? Because of RAM prices going so high on DDR5, everyone's like trying to buy last generation, which uses DDR4.
Yes.
Because it's cheaper. So I'm expecting them prices to be going up soon as well.
Yes.
M.2 storage devices. Micron, one of the biggest manufacturers, is now only serving AI institutions, so they're not selling to the public. That's going to be 30% of the market that needs to be filled by SanDisk or Western Digital.
Chillwell,
so to
what
speak.
are you talking about, bro? Chillwell says investing without a strategy gets you liquidated. Oz, come on, bro. What are you referencing, man? I don't even know what you're talking about. Come up here and talk to me, because I don't know what you're talking about, because I would never give out. First of all, I don't give out any advice on the show. This is not financial advice. But I do coach people in the right direction, but I don't know what I said that was even along those lines. So come up here and talk to me. I want to hear what you got to say. Go ahead, Starks.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about like how expensive these components are getting. M.2 storage is going to be the next one to get the hit, where it's probably going to go up by about 200%.
Yeah, I'm looking at buying
and then you're gonna
like a few hundred terabytes of storage, because like I save everything I record, and we have literally a year of 4 hours a day live streaming, that I got to store it somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you can use normal hard drives, but AI need fast access, so they use M.2s.
Right.
And last month, I bought an M.2 drive for about $120. Today, I have to pay about $200 for it.
Right. What's up, Chillwell?
Right.
How you doing, buddy?
No, I'm good. I'm just saying, like, you invested the money into doing the show without making a strategy of how you're going to recoup that dollars.
Oh, my strategy is this: is I took out
Because I'm
hold
telling
on.
you right now, man.
Let me tell you my strategy on that. Just to set the record here, I took out massive profits in crypto in end of January of last year. So in order to offset my taxes, I started a business. This is a business. So that's the
That makes sense. But there has to be an income off the business.
There's an
and
income.
Streaming.
It's just not a lot yet.
But
I'm looking at
there's
down the
not a
road.
lot of
We're going to be massive. I'm not
like. There's
going
not
anywhere.
a lot of income in the streaming on TikTok, man.
I mean, we do all right.
So there's.
Yeah, it's not enough yet.
No, you invested into a loss. Like, you invested into a loss, man. And sometimes, we have to
Not
we have
really.
to take account for that.
I wanted a computer to play video games on and to help people. What I'm investing in is in you, the viewer. I believe in the people that if we are educated, we can make a difference and we can shape the world the way we want it. And we don't have to march in lockstep down the wrong path. I believe that we can come together as a people and make a positive change. So my investment is not into this business, it's into you.
Yeah, well, I give out a lot of free juice anyway. So, like, you invested in the right person. If you're saying that to me personally, I'm always here. You can always reach out to me. I'm going to be 100% factual about when I give my information.
I love that.
So yeah, I appreciate that you invested into me. Personally, I can't give you any revenue back unless there's some juice involved.
You can't.
So, like,
take
if
it
you
with
can
you,
show
bro.
me there
throw
how
a
you set up
galaxy.
your day
Chill,
trade,
throw a couple of
then that's going to
galaxies.
bring.
Yeah, everybody spam.
Like, if you can show me your
TikTok with
strategy
galaxies
right
right
now and just give it to a paper play, what you're going to do on your day trade daily, that's the juice.
Yeah, and
That's what we're trying to get out of you. How do you make your money every day, bro?
Chill Bell.
Well, so we have
Chill Bell.
hold
Look,
on.
he's
So we
already
have
told.
the TA
Hold on,
class.
hold on.
So we have the TA class. We have, revenue coming in through TikTok. We have revenue coming in through Twitch. We have revenue coming in through Abstract. Obviously, it's
Yeah,
just
so you're not
a little
afraid to
bit.
show me a P&L then, like every other fake person trying to show. So you're not afraid to show me a P&L of your last trade.
Honestly, I'm not even trading anymore. I'm sidelined. And honestly, I don't
You
need.
got me there. You got me there, but I've got more.
I don't
me.
need to. I don't need to prove anything to you. or to anyone. The proof's in the pudding. I'm retired. I sit here on live
No,
all day long.
no, literally, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is the P&L and how much value you can bring.
I don't need any P&L.
Well, hold on. Oz, let me just answer this question quickly for you. Right, he's already told you that he's using this venture for tax write-off purposes and whatnot, yeah? So he knows what he's doing. The equipment that he's bought is doubled in value. By next year, it's going to probably triple in value. So even if he sold it, yeah, he'd still be making money. So theoretically, it's not a loss.
And I've
Yeah, but
added
the
on to my
transparency
property.
is in the
So
strategy.
I
The transparency shows you that somebody has a trading strategy that actually works.
I don't care. People come in day
Like
in and
you
day
can
out.
you can say like go in and pay to get in the Discord as much as you want, but like if
It's free
if you
in the
can't sit here
Discord.
and show a strategy that works, there's no pudding.
It's free in the Discord, and I spent an entire year of calling out the market time and time again. I literally went into your Discord
but
and
look, I'm
predicted the largest
I'm
market
not
crash
in
in crypto history,
Discord.
and you blocked
I'm
me
just,
for it.
I'm just on your live stream. I'm not in your Discord. I'm just on your live stream.
I know, but I was in
Like,
your
the
Discord,
proof
and I
is
gave
in like if
you and your community a heads up days before the largest crash in crypto history, and you banned and blocked me for it. So you tell me.
I didn't block you for that reason. I blocked you for the continuous FUD of crypto.
It doesn't matter.
So we'll get that straight for now.
The fact of the matter is it happened, and unfortunately, people didn't hear about it because of you.
Unfortunately, I don't care if the people heard about it or not.
I know, because you don't care about your community.
No, I didn't say that. It's their own financial choices and their own strategies. What's the outcome?
It's not a strategy. Literally,
Well,
we
they
were
don't know.
facing the largest crash in crypto history, and all you guys could scream about was all-time highs.
And most indicators gave the signal. It's not a glorifying moment.
I don't need to give anyone P&L because I'm right every single day. I have the most consistent record.
I'm not requesting
of
P&L.
technical-
I'm requesting a strategy that works for you if you're going to get into a trade today.
And I give that strategy in my technical analysis macroeconomics class.
If it's free,
it's the TA class is not free.
So there you go.
Because I need to make
So
some
you
kind of
get
income. I need
you're
to
selling
pay for my
value
time.
without showing it. Like just imagine I'm just a new person just coming to this stream today.
You know what?
Like you're inviting somebody in to make money
TikTok seller,
without
are you
showing
in the
value.
chat right now? Tell him. Does it work? The chat are the people that are trading. And by the way, in the Discord, it shows
wait
the
up a second.
wins.
1 minute's free, then the next minute you can't show us on the,
The
chart.
Discord
like, it's
is
right
free.
there in front of you. Like
The
just show
Discord
us-
is free. The class is different because I'm taking time out of my day to teach you something. Okay? If you go to college, do you not pay to go to college?
I agree with that.
So you can just go in and copy someone's homework for free. But if you want to learn how to do it,
So like copy trading.
yeah, you can copy someone's homework all day long in the Discord. But if you want to actually learn how to do it yourself and give yourself some knowledge and education, that's what I charge for. And it's condensed down. It's a one-time. It's not like I have a TA class every week and you got to just keep paying and keep paying. No,
It's a one-time payment?
No, once you take the course, it's done and you've learned it. And the people that signed up for it, if I have any new classes that do come out, because I do have guests that come on, and we're talking about these are hedge fund managers These are high-profile traders.
Look, bro, what I'm
that
trying
come
to
in
get at is like
as
I
guests.
see you putting the
They
work
come in as
in.
guests. They come in as guests, and then they teach what they know. All right, and that's free for anyone that has purchased the beginning part of it, and that's free for life from then on out. So yes, I would like to make some.
Can we keep the vibes up and you two stop rug pulling each other, please?
Yeah, here's the thing is, I have over a lifetime of trading developed my own strategy and technique and the way that I read the charts and do technical analysis. Okay? And I lost a